and Bobcat makes up this real nice table with donuts and Skittles and M&Ms and some catered cookies and this and that and that and this, and some cheese puffs and whatnot.
If you went to Japan, they'd lay out sushi and things like that.
Yeah.
So here, we've laid out like American snack foods and stuff.
Bobcat trusted me to protect the table, to make sure nobody came to the table, nobody ate off the table, nobody touched anything on the table. And the money man is extremely important. If this table is touched, we might get fucked.
Said you didn't sleep much last night?
Nope. 2 hours.
What were you doing that you had trouble sleeping?
I was awake.
But were you doing activities, or were you trying to calm down?
I played Overwatch a little bit just to kind of kill the time, but then I got into it and that woke me up more.
See, there's certain games I know I can't play at night because it stimulates me, and that's why I generally stick to like the sports games, like Madden and MLB. I have to focus on one specific thing, and it actually like keeps my mind from wandering.
See, Overwatch, because it's like small games. You just play like matches here or there. You can do like 2 before bed. It's not like I'm playing, an adventure game.
I'm too competitive when I'm playing with other people. If I had gotten like a 2-match losing streak, I would need to get a 5-game winning streak before I quit, which is what happens to me in Madden.
Yeah,
it also doesn't help that while I'm playing video games, I'm also listening to like podcasts and old O&A.
Yeah.
So I'm like multitasking. On a Monday or Tuesday night, I have wrestling on my phone. I have the baseball game on my tablet, Mets or Yankees, whoever's running.
You're
longer.
America.
And I am the definition of America. And welcome to episode 5 of You Watch, I Listen. I almost said 4.
The last episode.
Yeah, this is the last
final episode.
Yeah, we're a mini-series. This is episode 5 of You Watch, I Listen. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone. Thank you to all our troops. We support our troops. I'm very, very patriotic.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. I'm an ex-governor. That's a Jesse Ventura reference.
He's the best.
He's out there. Some of his shit is just out of control, and now he's going after current administrations. Like, his shtick is always the same, so I have to kind of respect that.
Thermite paint.
It was thermite paint in the tower. Why aren't they letting me in? An ex-Navy SEAL.
Did you ever watch the show where he I forgot what it was called, but
Conspiracy. It was on
Was
Fox.
it just called Conspiracy?
Yeah, where he
and he'd always have like the dumbest guy play like the accepted theory about like 9/11.
The one where he went to the place where they had all some rubble from the Twin Towers, and it says like restricted access, and he's like, they wouldn't let me in, an ex-governor and Navy SEAL. And then that whole bit that they did on O&A,
if you're a Navy SEAL, you can go wherever you want.
We need to get Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 2x4 to break down Mr. Fuji through thermite paint.
I know, it's like he goes like, why aren't they telling us? They are telling us. You're just going, no, I don't like the answer.
In what world is an ex-governor and Navy SEAL have the right to go look at evidence from 9/11?
I think
I don't think a current governor would have that access.
We brought enough attention to the fact that he was a governor. He was Jesse Ventura, the wrestler.
Jesse the Body Ventura, a Hall of Fame wrestler who then became a commentator, who then also starred in one of my favorite action films ever, which we have referenced previously.
Home Alone.
No, he wasn't in Home Alone. The Predator.
Home Alone 2.
Predator. He was also he had a small cameo in Batman and Robin as one of the security guards for Mr. Freeze.
Oh, God.
And we were talking about Batman and Robin today, and I like Batman and Robin more than Batman Forever. And that is somewhat of a controversial take, because Batman and Robin is just straight up bad.
Batman and Robin's...
It's entertaining because it's so bad.
Wait, which is... I always confuse which one's which.
Mr. Freeze and Arnold Schwarzenegger's
That
Batman
one
and
I
Robin.
like because it's so bad it's good.
And
the other one's just charmless.
And Batman Forever tried to be good, and it was bad. So I will absolutely put on Batman and Robin. And by the way, guys, if you haven't done it, it makes a great drinking game. Drink every time Arnold Schwarzenegger makes like a cold or a freeze reference.
You'll be dead by,
I think
when
it was
Poison
like,
Ivy comes in the movie.
I think someone said to me, within the first 20 minutes, there's about 15 references, and you got to take a shot every time.
I see you.
Yeah. Oh my God. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. All right. So a couple of things before we go into our stuff from last week. Ralph, you ran a half marathon on Sunday.
I did.
And this is your second marathon of sorts. And what were you running?
It's my third.
Third. What were you running for?
The the finish.
No, but what was the charity? That
There wasn't any charity. I
thought it
signed
was-
up for it and forgot to raise money for it.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you did it for yourself.
I did for myself, and so I didn't train at all.
Clearly.
It was very humid.
Clearly.
It was all uphill. The website said, some hills. No, it was one hill, and it was a half marathon.
How long did it take you to run the 9 miles?
It was not good.
What was your time?
It wasn't 9 miles. It was 13.1.
What was your 13.1 mile time?
It was... Honestly, I don't remember. I'm not even dodging the question, but it was not a good time.
So you were...
It actually was... My time for the half marathon was worse than my half time on the full marathon. The full marathon, I was sub 2 at the halfway point. So I actually did worse with the shorter race.
So you neglected your body, and it
very
showed
much
in this.
so.
So yeah, you texted me on Sunday after the race, and you're like, "I'm running a fever."
I think I got sunburned.
I was very, very grateful that you had a miserable time.
Oh, it was horrible.
I take personal solace in when my friends struggle and they're miserable and
You're
depressed.
blowing out my candle and make yours brighter.
Well, that's what I do because my candle's barely ever lit, so I have to do
You're
that
a
for
lighter.
myself. Yeah, exactly. My whole life is like one of those prank candles where you think you blew them out, but they keep going. My life is just a series of disappointments. So, how long did it take you to feel recovered from the half marathon?
I'm still out of it.
You still feel shitty?
Yeah,
Maybe that might
My
contribute.
thighs are killing. I'm going to actually...
You want a thigh rub?
All
All right, Taylor will be
We'll
here
wait till
soon.
Taylor gets here.
Yeah, we have a. Go ahead.
I'm gonna sign up for another one and train because I'm really disappointed by how
Well,
poorly
especially
I did.
since you were supposed to be raising money for some type of
I
charity.
don't always have to raise money. I raise money for one.
You just said you forgot, so yes,
No,
you,
I
you
forgot
had the
to-
intention of raising money and you didn't.
You don't raise money for every marathon. Sometimes you do it because you're selfish.
Okay,
Or
and this
stupid,
time,
like I
you
was.
were both selfish and stupid. All right, so before we go into our stuff from last week, did you have any subjects that you wanted to speak on?
So, actually, when you mentioned it before, you mentioned that we're a mini series.
Yeah, yes.
I'm actually watching a mini series on Netflix right now. I know we talked about it briefly.
What's that mini?
Have you watched Wild Wild Country?
I have not. I've heard a lot about Wild Wild Country, but I can't say I have an idea of what it's about. I know a lot of people that have watched it.
If Wild Wild Country was a Netflix original series,
think-
not
isn't
real
it?
events, you would say this is so absurd. This is so unrealistic. Netflix dropped the ball with this shit. It's a huge story, and I knew nothing about it. It's insane. There's this cult, and they buy land in Oregon, and they buy so much that they actually buy the town, and then they have their own police force. They have their own public schools where they're teaching just like the cult message. It's insane, and it's something that's become a footnote in history. I'm only about halfway through it.
How many episodes is it?
5 or 6. I'm on. There's 6. Yeah, I'm on episode 4.
Okay, so you're almost done with it.
But they're bringing in.
Just give me a brief, like a 30-second summary of what Wild Wild Country is actually about. I have an idea, but for anyone listening that isn't aware of it, which at this point, if you don't know about it, get out of the fucking hole you live in. If you're listening to this and don't know what this show is, you're an asshole. But go on, what's it about?
That was so unnecessarily aggressive.
Yeah, well, that's how I live.
So there's this cult in India in like the 60s and 70s called the Rajneeshis, I think they're called.
Okay, sounds
And
made
they're
up.
run
Go
by,
on.
this, messiah figure and, typical cult stuff. But it got really popular with Europeans. And they only wear
course.
orange, red, like purple, like those kind of colors.
They're like Bloods.
And yeah.
They put in yellow.
Blood
They're Latin kings.
So they get thrown out of India, so they buy all this land in Oregon and move the whole thing without like visas or like immigration law. They just move.
So
the
you're
cult.
saying we should call ICE on them?
I don't even know if they're around anymore. I haven't gotten to that point.
Okay, so they moved to Oregon
And
illegally.
they build a city and they build an airport. Like they're acting like a government. And there's a city next door that has like 30, 40 people. And apparently they're having problems with the government because they're not actually a city. So they just buy all the property and they go, okay, now we own this city. And they have their own police force. They have their own education.
I feel like you can't do that.
Well, that's what it is. And the woman, the cult leader's right-hand woman, she's just making blatant threats of violence on the news. And they can't do anything because she's head of the person who would prosecute it. She's like the mayor of the town.
Oh, so it's kind of like how the Westboro Baptist Church and the Scientology guys, they have like major lawyers and political figures that can manipulate so they don't get in trouble for these
And
things.
the weird thing is, I don't actually even know what the cult worships. Like, they worship this guy and like love and all that stuff, but there's no
like
there's
higher
no
power.
doctrine.
There's no like code of ethics to follow based on the religion.
It's not like, like the Manson family, which like they were out of their mind, but they at least had this overarching like race war bullshit.
Correct.
This is just crazy people who are bossing other people around.
Can I go and visit them?
I don't know if they're still around. I would hope so.
Can we find out if they're still around?
Let's
maybe
join
we
a cult.
Can we get a? We should start a cult.
No, I want to join a cult.
So,
Where do we start a podcast? I'm tired.
You've said you're 4 episodes in. How quickly have you gotten through these 4 episodes?
So I actually have been watching them.
I think grading a show a lot of times is based on how quickly you can get through it.
Oh, if I want to, I could easily binge it.
So it's bingeable.
Yeah, but it's it's a documentary. The episodes are long. They're like an hour and a half
I do
each.
love documentaries. The one I would do want to watch on Netflix that I've heard people talk about is Wormwood. People are talking about
I
Wormwood.
watched Wormwood. I hated it.
Okay, then
boring, really boring.
Oh, okay, then that's interesting.
It started interesting, and it really got boring quickly.
I'm like a fucking lazy dork, and I like watching like old school political documentaries and presidential stuff. I love watching stuff about the presidents. I love American history, but I also do like a lot of the cult stuff. I've watched a lot of stuff on Ruby Ridge, on Waco, all that kind of stuff. I love watching stuff on Scientology. So it sounds like Wild Wild Country is something that
Wild Country is fantastic.
I'd be very
and like
into.
I said, if it was a work of fiction, it would be critically panned because it's so unbelievable.
Now, do they have people on there that are like people that left the cult?
They actually have the woman who was a right-hand man.
Oh,
but she's in exile, and I assume the cult broke up. I don't know yet, but she's in exile because she committed all these felonies. So she's in like some European.
That's called prison when you commit felonies.
She's in this like European, like the Netherlands or something like that. And she's not giving up. Like, she's not saying, well, I made mistakes.
She's like Nazis running to Argentina.
She's doubled down, and she's like, what? So I threatened a few people. I bought some illegal weapons, whatever.
Big whoop. Well, I guess I'm going to have to add that to my list as something to watch.
Yeah, it's good. I've been watching it one episode every few days, only because I like to space it out so I can kind of...
See, that's my issue. Because of the fact that I barely sleep, I want to space things out, but then I'm like, oh, episode's 1 done. Let's watch episodes 2 through 6. Yeah. And that's probably what I'll end up doing whenever I do get to it. But I also... There's plenty of things out there that I've told people I'd watch for a while. Like, our buddies Bob and Quaz have been telling me forever as a Batman fan to watch Gotham. And I did watch Gotham the first season and a half, and it was cool, but it obviously wasn't cool enough because it didn't make me want to continue watching it. But everything I've heard since then is that it's really good. So that is one I'm probably going to have to give a watch as a Batman fan as well.
I don't like all the sub-shows of the franchises.
The spin-off kind of shows like Krypton. They're making one...
the cartoons I like because they're...
Well, the animated series, to this day, I think probably next to Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, the Batman animated series is one of the all-time great animated series, and it's probably the best carnation of Batman that's been done.
That's the one I kind of think of, to be honest. That's the one we grew up
That's
on.
one I grew up with, man. I had my brother recorded for me on 2 VHS tapes. He recorded over family videos, which my mom was not happy about, but he recorded every episode of Batman the animated series, and I was just rewinding those motherfuckers all the time, and I had all the toys. I still put it on sometimes when I'm laying down.
What are your thoughts on Batman Beyond? I loved Batman Beyond. I like
Batman Beyond. I wouldn't say I was hardcore about it, but I like that it incorporated so many things from the original series. It was canon with the original series,
and
which is cool.
There's so much that they could have gotten wrong with it.
Yeah,
and the fact that they didn't was kind
of
impressive.
They've been talking about making a movie out of that storyline for a long time. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but with the way they pump out these movies now, I don't think anything's out of the realm of possibility.
Justice League, Batman Beyond.
Yeah, Justice League, Batman. They should never make another Justice League movie. All right, so again, we're on episode 5 of You Watch, I Listen. Last week was our guest, Josh Marcella. Josh, thank you again for sitting in. Again, long shot, pistol, and rifle. I had a bunch of people that messaged me about it, so I hope you guys get some more business out of that. I actually have a funny story. I told you about this. So I got a group text on Thursday night or Wednesday night.
Yeah, from who?
Well, I didn't know the number, and there was 15 numbers in there, and I've been getting spam texts recently, and it was 4 texts in a row about signing up for some app that gives you cash, and I was like, who the fuck is this? I didn't really look at any of the numbers, and I just I responded, I don't know who this is, but fuck off. And because that's just how I reply to these things. And then 2 seconds later, I get a message back from Josh's brother Nick, whose number I have. I could have figured this out pretty quickly by just looking at the numbers that were in there, and he goes, Dan, it's my mom.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I've known Josh's mom for literally since 3rd grade, as long as I've known Josh. So I was I wasn't fretting too much because she gets me, and I just said, whoops, my bad. And thankfully she was cool about it, but Again, the Marcella family running long shot, rifle, and pistol. Before we go into what ours was, I want to talk about the album Josh recommended to us last week. Ghost, Meliora or whatever.
Was that the one we were supposed to listen to? I forgot which one you recommended, so I just listened to parts of like all of them.
Yeah, that was the one. Josh, listen. Okay, so let me preface this by saying that if I saw them live, I'd probably have a different opinion because so much of their gimmick as a band, Ghost, is the pageantry and the corniness and the Kiss and the Slipknot and the Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson style theatrics, which really it all comes down to taking it from Alice Cooper and Ozzy. And the music, dude, was so... I'm trying to be like safe here with my words.
Don't be safe.
Well, you work in HR. Gay. It's not my thing. It's glam metal. Now musically, it's well done. They're well mixed. They're tight. But overall, this was a chore for me to listen to, man.
It's corny.
It's cornball shit. Again, if I saw them live, I might agree. But there is an absolute 0% chance I will ever willingly put this band on again. And if I want to meet someone that is an actual like fan of this band that didn't just see them live on a whim like Josh and Greg did, if someone is a fan of this band, I want to have them on here. And just for the whole podcast episode, I just want to say shame.
That would be great for the
listeners.
Shame.
Yeah, well, you know what? Fuck them too. I don't care. If I had to be subjected to this kind of malarkey music, and I'm mad because I put that
That's
word
a good way to put it. It's malarkey.
It's malarkey.
It's a malarkey
just fucking
album.
duty. And no offense, Josh, if you dig it, that's cool. We're supposed to disagree on music sometimes, but this album was a true chore for me. And I don't see myself ever listening. Again, if I saw them live, I'm sure it's entirely different, but I didn't see them live. I sat at my desk with my headphone and thinking that maybe this isn't as bad. No, it was worse than I expected.
So
maybe because Josh adjusted my expectations, but no thanks, I'm good.
So I didn't listen again, I forgot which album he recommended, so I just listened to like the first 3 of one album, the next 3 of another, and then like finished it with their first
Did
album.
you come to realize that every song was the fucking same?
Yeah.
It's like you can't tell one album from the other. Like, oh, dude.
And there's no like
I'd rather listen to Wesley Willis for hours.
An album needs to have like some sort of theme
and
or
structure.
Like it's just like, okay, these are our 12 songs, let's put them on.
Yeah, we're dark and brooding, man.
Well, they don't look like they used to. They used to kind of have like a Satanism look, and now they look like Panic at the Disco or something.
Oh, because that's gonna really sell fucking tickets. Ugh. All right, so let's go into what we talked about last week, our recommendations from last week. And I believe that I opened last week going over your album, which was Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey, from Bruce Springsteen. And what movie did I give you last week, Ralph?
You gave me Caddyshack too.
Oh, well, I wish... I've actually thought about giving you like just a straight-up terrible movie that you've never seen, because I think that would be funny at some point. But I did not give you Caddyshack 2. What did I give you?
You gave me Windy City Heat.
Windy City Heat. Again, a movie I highly recommend. So give me your synopsis and review of Windy City Heat.
I like the movie. It's a comedy, so if you're looking for some sort of emotional impact, I mean,
there's none.
It's a very goofy movie.
Of course.
So basically,
it's a goofy. I love a goofy movie.
A goofy movie. Give me that this week. I want a goofy movie.
Goofy movie 2.
There's a sequel?
Yes, there is a sequel.
Is it real or is it like Homeward Bound 3 real?
We can't talk about Homeward Bound 3, but it is real. Goofy movie 2 is real. So go on what you thought about Windy City Heat and some takeaways from it.
So the whole time I'm watching the movie, I can't stop and think, why are they doing this? That's the only thing I kept thinking. Like, they're putting in... They have... Everybody's in on except for the main guy, Perry.
Perry Caravello.
And they're just so over the top. I still think... I know you say it's not a bit. I think he's in it. Like... There's no way someone is that delusional.
I'm telling you, you need to go just look at this guy's Twitter account to understand the level of stupidity.
There's a B.
It's a fucking B. Grow up. B's get in the studio sometimes.
They shouldn't.
Oh, grow up.
It's Susan B. Anthony.
Talk about the... Shut up. Go on about the fucking movie. So, but I'm telling you, it's 100% real.
So, the one thing I was kind of worried about is I didn't know anything about this guy, so I'm like, does he have something wrong with him?
Yeah, like, does he have Down syndrome?
And at no point, he seems like a normal guy who's just incredibly dumb.
Yeah, that's the long and short of it.
My favorite part of the movie were like how they had fake names. So Susan B. Anthony was
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski's Dane Cook.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. I fucking lost it.
He has to defend the craft table.
Dude, the part where they run into Adam Carolla in the back studio and he's just in a Roman gladiator outfit and he has a dog. I'm in a Roman gladiator buddy cop movie, and Perry Carvello's like, I was watching Man Show last night.
Don't bring up the show.
Don't bring up the Man Show. Dude, the part with fucking Charlton Heston.
Yeah, like it almost, you know what it felt like? It had a lot of Trailer Park Boys in it. That kind of, where did that come from? Why is it happening? Don't question it.
Dude, one of my favorite parts, and it's so subtle, but Dane Cook plays Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
And Perry goes to shake Bobcat's hand.
By the way, it's not Roman Polanski. He's not playing Roman Polanski the person. He's playing a guy named Roman Polanski.
And Perry doesn't understand that he doesn't know who Roman Polanski
the
is.
Producer's name is John Quincy Adams.
And it's just Mole leaving the room and calling up on the phone. That's why Mole leaves the room every time. He comes back with a turkey leg in his hand. The part with Dane Cook where Perry goes to shake Bobcat's hand, and then he goes to shake Dane Cook's, and Dane Cook doesn't shake his hand, and he goes, oh, sorry, I'm just getting over a virus. And then later when they meet, he doesn't do it again. He's like, what? Perry's like, you don't want to shake my hand? Sorry, just getting over some poison sumac. It's so many little subtle things in it, like the stunt double, the Wrigley gum fortune.
When Bobcat Goldthwait said, I have to use the microphone at all time, the mega horn at all times, or else I'll forget to use it.
Dude, my favorite part is when Perry, I'm not gay, except this one time, this producer, I let him suck my dick and I jerked him off. And like he's 100% serious, and that's part of the troll on him. He goes, I was raped. That wasn't consensual. He's like serious. Like this guy, his stupidity knows no bounds.
And he's so homophobic, and then they just bring in the obviously
and he's
gay
Jehovah's Witness, so you know he's stupid.
He bring in the really gay
oh my god,
costume designer, and he's got assless
he goes,
chaps.
all right, Mr. Perry, Mr. Matthew Perry. What does he call the movie? Some terribly Oklahomos is what he calls it.
And he's so uncomfortable.
No, dude, when he starts screaming, he sounds exactly like Sam Kinison.
Oh,
that's what his scream is like. And
or when they're making the action figures, and his action figures
fat,
really fat and ugly.
Don Barris goes, let me improv a little bit. What? Well, if it isn't the fattest, most disgusting has-been out of shape when they throw him in the dumpster, can we get crap and poop? Crap and poop.
Get crap, get poop, get crap and
when
poop.
they bring in the money man, Hiroshima Nagasaki, they just bring in a fucking plate. The Japanese love desserts, and it's just a table full of donuts and M&Ms and Skittles. The movie is so absurd.
It's a dumb movie, but it's fun.
If you can step yourself back and actually understand, you really have to go into this understanding that this guy really does not understand any of this, because to this day he thinks it's a real thing, and he still hates Don Barris. And like just recently,
didn't he sue him?
He's tried suing him, dude. It's insane. They did the Big Three podcast for a while when they're trying to go to the fucking premiere. Don Barris, dude. Fucking,
yeah. Why did they? If they're late to the premiere, the movie doesn't get released. Like,
no, he goes, "This is the only time you could see this movie." John Quincy Adams here. So you enjoyed the movie overall?
I enjoyed the movie. It's nothing groundbreaking about it. It's not a, you know.
See, dude, that was one of the movies I laughed the hardest at. And funny. Every time I watch it, I laugh more because it's just the little subtle things in it that I pick up on.
I think, how would I grade this one? I'm going to give it a stand-up comedian. So
okay, I like that. Graded on the level of a stand-up comedian.
Now I need to think of one. Who's the guy that looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
Okay.
Nothing. You know, he's not a trendsetter.
He's not kicking doors open.
But he's consistently funny.
And he's considered one of the most consistently funny comedians out there. Although this movie works blue.
Yeah, but it's not over the top blue. Like, it's just
no, it's not over the top.
It's like R-rated comedy blue.
So you give it Jim Gaffigan, who I am a big fan of Jim Gaffigan. I saw him live like a year and a half ago at Wellmont. He was phenomenal. But Windy City Heat, man, if you can find, I got to send you the most recent Don Barris podcast where they messed with Perry about this whole thing about him being gay. And these guys they made these edited videos of all these newscasters saying that he came out. And listening to Perry, they recorded all the combos of Perry on the phone with his lawyer and publicist saying, like, listen, we're going to prove to everyone that you're not gay. You're going to go to Don's studio. He rides his bicycle to the studio. The lawyer calls him he calls his lawyer while he's on the bike. I'm turning around. I'm not dealing with fucking Don Barris again. This is still like a thing. It's pretty incredible. So I'm glad you got some laughs out of it. And I think
I liked it.
It's one of those movies that the more I thought about it, the more I laughed. And I think that's like everyone I know that's seen it. As you talk about it more, you look at it in a more glowing. I think it should have a better impact on you though. Maybe because because I hyped it up so much for
No,
so
I
long.
liked the movie. I liked the movie. I didn't think it was anything bad about the movie, but I just didn't think. If I saw it, I would have been like, "Oh, that's funny. I recommend it to someone." But I also wouldn't.
Did you watch it with the old ball and chain?
No, I just watch on my computer.
What was she
YouTube.
doing at the time?
I honestly, I don't know.
That's good. Don't pay attention to the woman ever. So
Good improv.
All right, so
What was she doing? I don't know.
So the biggest underlying theme here, I'm glad you liked Windy City Heat, is on every episode we have kind of liked both of what presented to it if we didn't love it, which is going to bring me to your album, The Bravest Man in the Universe by Bobby Womack. So I'm going to start out by saying I really did not care for this album.
You didn't.
There were some things I really liked about it. I thought the songwriting was great. Lyrically, it was brilliant. I found myself by the end of it happy that this guy is not alive to make another album, because there was the second to last song, Jubilee, is a fucking nonsense song. I think the big problem for me, it's fucking nonsense. It sounds like an 8-bit video game soundtrack with his incredible soulful voice over it. And the lyrics weren't bad. Like, the beat actually sounded like a Nine Inch Nails thing. And he comes in singing like fucking Ray Charles. And I'm like, what is this? I don't want to hear Georgia on My Mind over Closer. Like, you know what I mean? So there was a couple songs I did like on it. Deep River, which was the third track, the slowest track on the song. I thought that was a really cool song. The reason I like that one is it sounded most like what the music should be like with his voice and his vocal styling
And that's
and the
closer
lyrics.
to what he really is.
Yes. I didn't care for the song with Lana Del Rey. I thought her track was cool because it sounded like a Lana Del Rey song, her verse.
I'll give you that. I think it's her. He sounds like a guest on her song. That's a good way to put it.
That was like the biggest thing. This whole album to me sounded like how many albums has Tupac and Biggie come out since they died? It sounds like an
30.
album that came out after a guy died. Like they took Michael Jackson had songs come out. So I didn't care for that one. I hated. This was one step above Jubilee. I gave Jubilee like a 0.5 because I thought the beat was all right. Whatever happened to the times? I was so bored. Like, I liked it more than Ghost. I'll give you that. I liked it more than the Ghost album. Stupid was all right. I liked the beat on it. The beat was really cool.
I think Stupid is fantastic.
If there wasn't something there, I thought it was all right. I did have one song that I thought was the best one next to Deep River. If there wasn't something there, I thought was a really good song. That one I thought was the one that sounded most like it belonged on that album. So I did enjoy that one.
That's the most like soulful gospel sounding.
So I love the producer, the guy from the Gorillaz. I think he's great. I'm a Gorillaz fan. But it just seemed like I feel like they almost did him a disservice on this album by making it sound contemporary, the music, to he's got such a powerful voice, and none of the songs and their lyrics and the meaning of the lyrics seem like they hit home to me. Because I'm very much about feeling what an artist wrote when they wrote the song. If they were in despair, if they were depressed, if they were lonely. Those are things that matter to me when I look at songwriting. In this one, it didn't do it for me. The Please Forgive My Heart, the way they closed out the album was decent. I hated Love Is Gonna Lift You Up.
It's such a corny song.
It sounded like it belonged on like the Ghostbusters 3 soundtrack.
I'm gonna be honest.
Love is gonna lift, dude. Guys,
that's a rough one.
Listen. I feel like I'm well aware when I listen to an album that if it's good and I don't like it, that it's just me. And that's kind of how I felt with this. I don't think it was bad by any means. It's just not something for me. I love a soulful voice. I'm all about powerful, soulful voices. But the music, and I like that kind of music, but they just did not mesh. I don't want to hear Trent Reznor do an album with fucking Ray Charles or B.B. King. I don't want to hear that. It doesn't work for me personally.
Did you listen to any of his other stuff by any chance?
I did, and I liked his older stuff
like
a lot more.
Real funk and soul.
Yeah, like that to me encompassed what he was about. And this one, again, I think lyrically it was quite brilliant. Lyrically, I read up some of the lyrics because I could hear it, but the music was so distracting to me.
That's actually the big criticism, is that it's not a well-produced album.
No,
and I do agree. The levels were not done well.
But it's just, again, I think they made a major misstep because I think that the guy from the Gorillaz saw the ability to market this sound, because that is the popular sound now, that it has like the Lord and the Lana Del Rey and that whole sound. And to put it with him, who he should have a fucking piano playing behind him, a fucking upright bass, a drummer, but it's all digital, man. So I'm sorry I shit on your album.
Yeah,
I kind of like that we had finally like an actual disagreement here. But I get like the appeal of the album, and I think that it's got a major crossover appeal. There might be a lot of people that listen to this that like that sound. For me, it did not click. I did not, and the thing that I tried doing, the first time I listened to it, I literally said to myself, I went, fuck Ralph. Because I'm like, he gave me something that he knows I'm not going to like, but I don't think he did that. No. And after the second, third, fourth, fifth time I listened to it, it became an easier listen, but it was never an easy listen.
Got it,
Unlike Josh's, which was a fucking chore the entire time. I'm sorry I'm railing you in the ass here, Josh, but you deserve it right now.
Let's be honest, Ghost kind of sucks.
No, they kind of stand. I would honestly rather listen to Kiss, and I don't ever want to listen to Kiss.
But okay, here's the thing. I actually wouldn't mind Ghost if they weren't taking themselves so seriously with this like bubblegum metal. Like yeah. Kiss, like there's a like Kiss is going to be corny. Kiss is going to be over the top. They're not taking themselves so seriously that they're going to market the Kiss coffin to you.
Yeah,
like I can accept that.
I have to respect Kiss to an extent because they've lasted so fucking long, and they made a fucking disco album. Like that's how you survived back then. You had the Stones made a fucking disco sound album, man.
The Stones album is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Kiss
is not fantastic, but Kiss, it's the same thing as Ghost. Their whole appeal is honestly the show. I would see a Kiss concert legitimately because I know that everyone says a Kiss concert. No one's ever left one and said those guys are terrible because they kind of were one of the first rock bands to trademark that fucking stage show. But I don't need to hear fucking rock and roll.
Do you remember Ray that we went to high school with?
Ray. I do remember Ray very much. I hung out with him a lot in elementary school.
All he ever listened to was Kiss.
So let me give the backstory on Ray. And I don't know if Ray's listening to this. It seems like via social media, he's got a lot more problems than this. No offense if you're listening, Ray. This kid
he's got a ton of problems. No offense.
Well, I mean, if you want to take offense to it, they're your problems.
Your life's shit. No offense.
Your life does seem like shit, Ray. I really hope he's not listening. So this kid was the biggest fucking Kiss fan. I went to elementary school with him, so I knew him longer than you. And every time I'd be hanging out, he wants to play Kiss, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to listen to Kiss. I want to listen to fucking Lit. And so I want to listen to my own worst enemy on repeat. I want to listen to Alien Ant Farm. And he's fucking. One time I went to his house, and he's like, hey Dan, and he's got full Kiss makeup on. Dude, funny story about Ray actually. One time on the ice in the winter, because I grew up on a lake, and in the winter we all just hung out on the lake on weekends, and like people would bring quads and dirt bikes out, and his little brother Vic was out there, and I see his little brother now. He's a big boy, and we were like goofing around wrestling on the ice, and I rock bottomed him through the ice. Like I did it.
Wait, and Ray's brother or Ray?
Ray's brother. The ice cracked, and he half fell through it. I had to pull him. Like I did a fucking wrestling move that could have
been in jail right now.
I could have. Okay, first off, it knocked the wind out of him completely. So if he actually went through and we didn't pull him out, he would have drowned. So I tried a professional wrestling move when I was 11 years old and he was about 7, and put him through the ice. So that's why before any WWE programming, they put that thing at the beginning. Please do not try this at home.
For people like you.
I feel so bad for my younger sister because I used to just fucking practice all the wrestling moves on her. There was one time I thought I almost killed her. I gave her. There is this move that the Undertaker did called the Last Ride, and it's like it's a power bomb. So you have the person, their legs are like right between your face, like you're about to eat them out, and basically gross. And then you lift them up in the air and then you slam them down. So I did that to my sister when she was about 5, and her head smacked the ground.
No wonder everyone hates you.
Yeah, good thing her skull wasn't as soft anymore. So I got grounded for that. I wasn't allowed I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling for a month, and I still found a way. Actually, my dad, don't tell your mother. I put the VHS in to record Raw for you.
You're a schmuck.
Yeah, so
actually,
so the moral of the story is don't try wrestling moves on your friends or younger siblings.
My neighbors, they were big wrestling fans too, and their 2 brothers, they were like, one was a year older.
What they just told you, as you have a lot of repressed memories that you were doing wrestling moves. Yay!
And they had a moose head, and one of the guys jumps up, grabs the moose head that was on the wall by the antlers, and just smacked his little brother across the face with a moose head.
Oh my!
And he yelled,
God!
And then he did the suck it move over his bleeding cranium cracked brother.
Yeah, like dude, when I think about the shit I used to do, the thing was, the reason I thought it was okay with my sister is because my brothers beat the fuck out of me. They always called it dead legs. They would just come up and they just fucking punch me in the leg. But the thing was, my brother, I was a boy, first of all. My oldest brother's 40. Oh, sorry, Rob. 40, I think. Maybe 41. And the other one is 38. And I'm 29. So there was 10 years between us. I'm 29. My sister is 21. So not as much of a gap, but she's a girl. Mm-hmm. And I would fucking be sitting there hitting her with Muay Thai leg kicks and just like fucking doing all these wrestling moves to her. But the thing was, there were times I was dumb and she's having fun. Let me see if I could do this move to her. And next thing I know,
pushing the envelope.
She's crying hysterically.
My sister once was walking down the stairs, and I took a blanket, and I guess, I don't know, she was like 3, I was 8 or 9.
Okay.
And I put the blanket over her head, took a jump rope, tied it up so she couldn't see, threw in the closet, and yelled, "You're gonna die. You're gonna die." That was my fun, like, prank to her.
That's so bad, man. So, our guest is going to be here in about 5-10 minutes. So something I want to talk about while we're waiting is, I went and saw Solo, a Star Wars story last night.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm biased. I admit that every time I preface this. I am a Star Wars fanboy. It's going to be really, really difficult for me not to find somewhat of enjoyment in Star Wars. Anything from video games to books to movies to comics to literally just about anything.
I just got an ad for Star Wars as you're talking about on
see,
my
they're watching
laptop.
us. They're making the frogs gay. So,
But you know, that's not a good tactic. You already saw the movie. Why are they advertising?
well, you haven't. It's on your computer.
Oh, you know, that's right.
So, Solo had a lot of production issues. They fired the directors when the movie was like 80% done, and they brought in Ron Howard, and they had to reshoot like 70% of the movie apparently. And in the first 30 minutes of the movie or so, you can tell it's a little clunky. It's a little goofy. There's some parts where there's a part where Han speaks Wookiee. And it's a little goofy, but the second, like maybe like 10 minutes before Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian comes in, the movie finds its ground and it starts running and it doesn't stop. And it's unlike any other Star Wars movie. It's the only one that doesn't mention the Force once. It's not even like an underlying theme. Like even in Rogue One that happened, almost to the point where
they had the monk
it was
guy.
being force fed to an extent. This was cool, man. It was fun. The last 20 minutes, I didn't after I got past that it wasn't Harrison Ford. It became Han Solo for me. Like he had the charm, he had the wit, he had the one-liners.
You heard the story that he asked Han Solo's Harrison Ford's permission. He's like, "I just want to make sure you're okay with me."
And what's crazy is
Harrison Ford's like, "I don't give a shit."
Well, what's crazy is Harrison Ford, who doesn't like anything, he apparently went and saw the movie twice because he liked it so much. And that's Harrison Ford, who is a curmudgeon about everything.
And now he's like, "You need to run me back to life in Episode 9. I want to be back."
Yeah, well, he wants back in now.
How do you want back in? Use the Force.
But overall, man, it was basically the way I would describe it. It's made for Star Wars fans. I will preface that. Like, if you're not a Star Wars fan, I don't think you'll like it as much because there's so many little Easter eggs and references put in there.
Does it not bring really anything new to the table?
No, it brings some new stuff to the table. There's some stuff in there. There's one big surprise in it that the entire theater went, "Oh!" Like they couldn't believe that it was happening. And it's a really cool one. It opens the doors for a Han Solo sequel, the Obi-Wan movie. They just announced a standalone Boba Fett movie that the guy that directed Logan and wrote Logan is doing. And James Mangold, he's fantastic.
Does everyone just get their own movie? We're gonna have the Boba Fett movie. We're gonna have the Jabba the Hutt movie. IG-88 gets a movie.
Lucasfilm was bought by Disney. Disney bought Marvel. So why wouldn't they, man?
Can they do an Avengers Star Wars crossover?
That might be a little much for me. That might be when I check
Oh, I
out.
would see that because I would like to see how much of a clusterfuck it would be.
I think it would work in like a comic. It wouldn't bother me as much, but in a movie, I don't know. But overall, man, I was entertained. It was a space Indiana Jones is the best way I could describe it. And the last like 20 minutes, when you see the Kessel Run, it's really cool.
Oh, they had the Kessel Run.
They have the Kessel Run. You find out how he got the Millennium Falcon. You find out how he got Chewie's life debt or whatever. It was cool, man. It was a fun movie. I was very entertained. The people were crying about that Lando Calrissian is written as pansexual is the one thing.
Did they even show that in the movie?
So the way I heard that at first and I was like, ugh. But then the way they described it, like, Lando lives in space. Why wouldn't he be attracted to things like aliens? I was like, that's a good point. He doesn't have to be attracted to humans. But, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Our guest is going to be here any minute. That is Taylor Majka, also known as The Big Show, a.k.a. Shit Dick. We'll be back.
We're back.
And we're back. All right, we got our guest with us. One of my closest friends over the last, we've been friends for 7 years now, 2011.
Yeah, with
Best Buy.
8, yeah, Best Buy.
So one of my closest friends since 2011, Taylor Majka. We all just opened up a cooler beer from January.
Oh, wait.
Don't chug it this time. You fucking almost puked last time, you asswipe.
It's also because you drank Budweiser.
Yeah, butt wiper.
Oh, what's wrong with this beer?
Oh,
Well,
now it's getting questionable.
Well, I mean, you would think it's sitting in a cooler for the last, 4 months?
No, January, so we're talking almost 6 months.
Yeah, I rounded down. So
Dude,
what?
it literally was still cold as of like 3 weeks ago, and now it's getting room temperature.
That tastes like college.
Yeah, it's not good. What, cum?
All
Taylor, so what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on.
Oh, man, that's good. I got really nothing going on. I'm just
Well,
Right.
we have Taylor
That's good.
here.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks. We'll see you later. Taylor, you host your own podcast, In the Pit. I recently helped you with the name change and your banner, because before it was called Madness, and I like the name, but
Yeah,
it doesn't
I don't
really
wanna-
tell the tale of
Not
what
at
you
all.
tried doing. So tell me a little bit about your podcast.
So pretty much the podcast centers around music primarily.
Yeah, you
I-
talk
I-
about a little bit of other stuff, movies, obviously music shit.
Yeah, it's more or less like what I want to talk about, kind of like the same thing.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
what we're doing here.
A central theme, but whatever you want to talk about.
Exactly, but I kind of like to focus on music because that's really what I care about. That's kind of my passion, and that's everything else. So like that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I try to cover every little facet of music, but the issue, well, not the issue, but everything kind of what I want to do is like I stick to more of like the like this generation's counterculture,
Of course.
which is like I could describe it as like the Bamboozles or the Warped Tours, like those bands. you
Yeah,
know?
okay. So yeah, like the scene, the screamo, the emo, the metal,
You just said that the first two words you said literally make me the angriest.
screamo and emo.
Those are not real
But
fucking things.
you have to understand, from a
real.
non-listener, a person that doesn't follow that music, that's how they define it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
As a
sit
fan,
there,
I
My
under-
Chemical Romance, emo, Fall Out Boy, emo.
See, I don't
Of
even
course.
consider that emo. I think of bands like Fugazi and American Football. Like that's the emo I think of.
American football. You dropping names on me over here.
That's a throwback name. So
Jesus.
how long have you been doing your podcast for now? Because you started it when we were still living together. I helped you out a little bit with the early stuff with the rig and everything, getting stuff set up. So how long have you been going on it now? On and off.
So on and off, I want to say for about 2.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
2.5, 3 years. The main issue I keep running into is that basically what happens is that I kind of run through stuff a little too quickly, and
You don't give yourself enough material.
I don't give myself enough material. Not to mention because there are only a finite amount of bands that I
course,
kind
of
of want
course.
to focus on. That there's not a lot of new material coming out every
And
so
you
often.
do a lot of it on your own, right?
It's all, you've had a couple where your friends were sitting around
It's
and
tough
everything.
to do a show if it's just you talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely been the hardest part because trying to find my own voice, trying to find my own sound,
Yeah, I
as
think,
well as trying to,
of
like,
course, where
you know.
where you feel comfortable and you don't sound robotic as well. I
Exactly.
think one of the big keys is something you should do is, and I've been noticing on these because I just started up the You Watch I Listen podcast Twitter page, and I'm following a bunch of different pages that do podcasts, whether it's music, whether it's wrestling or video games or anything. And a lot of them, what they do is they do an episode that is just about a specific album or a specific catalog, and they talk about like why this album meant something to them. So for you, I think something really cool and in the pit would be going over the albums that shaped why you want to talk about music, like the most important albums that you can put on like any time, and specifically what you like about them would be a pretty cool idea, because it's hard to keep up with current events in music because a band's only dropping an album once a year, maybe twice if you're lucky, maybe an EP.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially with the bands in my scene, because they're not really making top dollar,
And they're not on
listeners.
major record labels.
Exactly, they're all on indie labels. So
So they're touring half the time, and then they stop for 6 months. They make an album, but you can go 2.5, 3 years without an album from a band you like.
Yeah, I mean, like a quick example with I don't know if anyone's familiar with the band Boys Like Girls.
Yeah, I know
from
Boys Like
UK.
Girls, yeah.
You know, their first real big album came out, I want to say like 2006. It didn't hit commercially till 2007, and then they didn't record a new album till 2009.
Dude, I'm telling you, on your podcast, try a couple episodes where you talk about an album and the songs on it, or your favorite songs from a specific band. Like, this is my Taking Back Sunday episode. This is my Chem episode. And just putting those in there with those titles on it, people will click on it because they're searching for Taking Back Sunday.
What
They're searching
what
for
Dan
those.
does when I give him an album, he doesn't do it as much now. But when we first started going, he would actually go and give a track by track grade for every and
Like 1 to 5 on each song.
yeah. So he would be like, "This is my least favorite. I'm giving it a 1. This is my favorite. It's a 4.5." So
I still haven't found one that I gave it 5 to. I'm waiting for that. Although First Night was close on Hold Steady.
I would say out of all the ones, the Hold Steady was
That
definitely
album was
probably-
dope, man.
I
Yeah.
love that album.
That was a really cool album, man. For something that I didn't know if I was going to like or not, I liked that one a lot.
To be fair, there's a lot of stuff I would tell you about, and 90% of the time I'm like, I don't think he's gonna like it.
Yeah, we'll see. Unlike Josh, who fucking recommended Ghost, thinking that I might like it. I've been ripping on Josh this whole episode, and I was so nice when he was here. I just want fucking Josh to get
He
smacked
texts me.
with
He
a
goes,
dildo.
"Josh's album sucks." He texts me.
I didn't text Josh and tell him that, but I text her out. I'm like, this album is shit.
I forgot what album he recommended, so I just listened to part of all their albums and just compiled one master album.
So I don't want to go back too much into what we talked about before Micah got here. So your podcast is in the pit. When is your next episode? Recording, dropping, whatever?
So I'm actually going to be recording on Memorial Day.
Okay, nice. I like that. Drop it on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm going to drop it that night.
And then push it on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be nursing a hangover, so that's going to be a good
That's
time.
a fantastic idea because we have to celebrate that we are proud Americans.
Yes, we are
That's
very,
fine.
very proud.
The real question is, how many hot dogs are you going to have this weekend? Because I'm banking on 8 to 12.
What? Like
How many hot dogs did you eat when you went to that minor league game? Taylor's sitting here wearing a Port St. Lucie Mets Tim Tebow jersey, and I remember when he was there, it was $1 hot dog night.
It was $1 beer and $1 hot dog.
So how many beers did you
Wait,
have?
they're allowed to do dollar beer?
Yes,
I thought
at minor league games, absolutely.
But here's the thing, but they're very small cans. Like
Yeah,
they're
of course.
the super like if you bought
the ones
like,
that looks like Andre the Giant is holding it.
yeah, it's like 100. It's like the 100 calorie Cokes.
Yes,
like those.
exactly.
That's still $1?
So how many beers did you have?
Oh God, I completely lost count because I would drink 4 like big Heinekens.
All right, then the
that
better
was super
question is
easy.
because
Hold on.
I remember. Okay, go on.
No, so I would drink 4 Heinekens and then like I went with three of my buddies and then I was already drunk on the way there.
Of course.
So it's like $3 to sit behind home plate or whatever, $5 to sit behind home
It's
plate,
so
$3
cheap.
for everywhere
And
else.
it's such a beautiful ballpark.
Not to mention just because Tebow was there, the place was fucking packed.
Of course, yeah,
But,
absolutely.
I remember walking up and with the $20 bill, I said I'll have 10 beers and 10 hot dogs.
So, and I remember I got the text about how many hot dogs you ate. What was the final?
irresponsible promotion?
What was the final tally on the hot dogs?
I
Your
think-
dog count?
I want
want-
to see if you remember because I remember.
I want to say 18.
13 was the number. 18 was maybe you're mixing up your beers. But 13 is an impressive number in one night.
Yeah.
You should have
I
gone.
was
You should have
so
gone for a
fucking drunk.
colonoscopy then.
Yeah.
The next day because there is something wrong with your innards.
Well, say instead of getting a colonoscopy, instead of getting a
All washed up
colonoscopy,
there.
instead of
Just
doing that, I
tubes.
went to go see Dunkirk.
And Dunkirk was great, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and I shit my ass.
You got a text from me a couple of weeks ago about he did too about my my
I'm so
gross
happy.
my gross incident, which I think I can finally talk about.
Why? Like, you're texting me this, and I'm going, yeah, it's funny, but why is he telling me this?
Because I needed to tell someone.
I have to say my favorite thing about whenever
gross.
Dan texts you and starts telling you a story, it's in multiple texts, so there's constantly build up.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there and
The
I'm at work.
I like building up suspense.
Yeah,
Nothing
dude, you're really
pisses
good
me
at
off
it.
when I'm like on a call for work, and I look at my phone, and there's a text, and I go, "What does he
Like,
want?"
you don't
And
do
while
this-
I'm thinking that, it goes to 9.
Like you
and then
don't do the
10.
same thing to me, you cockstain.
I'm really happy
So-
you said that because I literally have the same thought process every time you text
And then
me.
I'm like, I guarantee it's nothing. And I open it up, and he's like, you know, they're making a new blank movie.
Blank man.
Blank man.
So the story what happened to me. This is a really gross night for me, and I think I can
Ugh.
finally talk about it. I told.
I might need to tap.
I told
This
my
grosses me
I told
out.
my girlfriend about this. So. A week and a half ago, I had I started getting like a cold, and I kept blowing my nose. It was pretty nasty. You heard last week when I was coughing up a storm. It was Wednesday last week, and I couldn't sleep either. So what does a man do when he can't sleep? He decides to rub one out. I'm sorry. I'm a man. This is what I do.
You wanted to fiddle your pud.
So I'm blowing my nose. I decided to rub one out, and I bust a nut into a paper towel. And I didn't get up and throw everything out right away. And then I had to sneeze. And I went to blow my nose, and I grabbed the wrong paper towel. So I sneeze, and it's snot and just cum in my mustache. And the worst part was, and let me preface this, about 45 minutes before that, from all the Theraflu and cold medicine, I was going up to get like a cup of water, and I let out what I thought was a flatulent, and it was a fucking shit. And so I sharted before the cum sneeze.
We're different from the other shows. We talk about the real topics.
The real topics.
Wait, so hold on. So what you
Darfur, sneeze, cum.
wait?
That sounds like a stand-up comic name.
What were you gonna say?
So
Ted?
hold on, wait. So let me get this straight. So this is how these events unfolded, right? So you shit yourself.
Sharded. Yeah.
Shit yourself. Let's
Yeah,
not,
I shit
let's not
myself.
fucking sugarcoat
Okay.
it, shall
I'm
we?
an adult.
Yeah.
You had an issue with every orifice.
It's true. Besides my vagina.
So then you have a cold. So you blow your nose. Right?
And then I decided to jack off.
And then you jerk off because you're tired and you want to go to sleep. Because
Yes.
jerking off and trying to stay awake, you should be a Navy SEAL.
Correct.
Right. So then you jerk off in the same paper towel.
No, it was a different paper towel. I
Different
had two paper towels.
And then you go to blow your nose in said paper towel, and you're like, oh, it's just snot. It looks the same.
No, I knew it was cum right away.
I'm tapping. I'm taking my headphones off. This is
No,
disgusting.
you're sitting right the fuck there.
Grow
now.
up. I literally went.
Grow up.
I went. Shoot! Oh! And it was just. My mustache. It was a pretty heinous night for me. So
Yo,
the moral of the
nothing
story
made me-
here.
Nothing made me happier.
He sends me Snapchats right after because there's two people I had to tell. Ralph and Taylor, and you were just like, Ralph said something like, "You're shit," and Taylor sends me a snap just laughing at me.
I just want to let you know how lightheaded I was from laughing.
Dude, I was pretty inebriated as well, so that didn't help. I had a few.
You were full of some medicine. Right?
I had, yeah, exactly, cold medicine. So Taylor, what are you up to these days? Because Taylor and I were roommates for a long time. He decided to go back home, set up on some professional things. What are you looking to do now, professionally and personally?
So personally, I mean, we touched on it quickly, but most personally, like, I want to get my podcast back up and
Correct.
running and be more consistent. As far as professionally, kind of what I'm doing now is I have my CDL.
Yes, you finally got your CDL. Congratulations.
Took
Let me give you a nice
months.
microphone clap.
Yeah, took me 6 fucking months.
I remember the one night we were, stop it, you dick. The one night we were outside like studying, and then I was like, "You want to go get Doritos?" We just went inside and stopped studying.
Yeah. No, I'm like sitting
You can tell the
outside
mindset
with
we were in.
with my fucking book, and he just sits there and looks at me and goes, "Bro, you want to get Doritos?"
Doritos, and I think we had hot dogs too.
Oh yeah, we did.
There's a lot of hot dogs tonight.
Well, I think that was that was one of the rules at Greg's house, was like there's always a package of hot dogs in
We
the fridge.
always had hot dogs, and like some nights when we knew that we were going to be like drinking pretty good that night, having our medicine, like one of us would text the other and be like, "We need it. Are you getting
Supplies.
supplies?"
When you're 5 beers in, is there anything more satisfying than a hot dog?
No, maybe quesarito. A quesarito is always good though.
Yo, like low key, a cold quesarito.
See, I'm not like you with the cold shit. I need
I'm
my
with Taylor. I like
cold
I agree with
quesarito,
you.
cold pizza.
Oh, I do like cold
See,
pizza.
cold pizza's the only one I don't like. I like reheating my pizza.
I do.
That's-
Okay, so
that's weird.
I like cold McDonald's.
So you
That's
got your,
disgusting.
you got your. I want to go back to the hot dog thing in a second because I have a story for you.
Wait, we touched upon his CDL, a big life event, but let's talk about
No,
hot
no, no.
dogs for
I
another
want
20
to go
minutes.
back to the CDL. So you're starting up your podcast again. You're going back to the CDL.
Yeah.
And your family owns a big oil company locally, and that's a business that's always doing very well. So is the goal long term now to go back to the oil company and eventually take over Majka and Sons?
I haven't. The thought definitely has crossed my mind once or twice. I did work there for quite.
You
some
were
time.
apprehensive about it for a while.
Yeah, and coming back around, like I work there today. I work there part
Yeah,
time
you-
because
yeah.
I work security, and it
Correct.
sucks ass.
Yeah, but no one bothers you, which is nice.
Yeah, it's great. I just
So
watch YouTube all day.
So yeah, exactly. So you went back. You're working with them part time on the
Yeah.
weekends and everything.
Yeah, I'm just driving the truck right now, and whenever my father needs some help because he had a decent amount of turnover, a couple guys left, and so he needed some help. He hired a couple new guys that don't really know too much, and even though I'm only 26, I have a lot more experience.
Well, yeah,
in
you've been
business
doing
than-
it. I've seen nights where you came home and you could barely fucking walk, but you were. I think what part of the problem with the company for you for a long time was that you weren't in the part that you'd wanted to do, and you couldn't get that CDL, and now you got that CDL, and that's a great fucking gig to have. You drive the truck and make the other
Round of
motherfucker
applause.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, round of applause again. So what about personally? You've been single for a bit. You looking for you looking?
Are you looking
on
for
the
the
Are you
one?
on the dating apps?
No, not at all.
Oh my god,
To be completely honest, because I've had this conversation with my friends Tyler and Ryed.
okay.
And,
I love Ryan. Go
yeah,
ahead. I like
yeah.
Tyler too.
Yeah, so like I just have zero aspiration to date at this point because I got too much
You're
shit going on in
flaccid.
my,
Oh, but I'm sorry.
Well, that too, yeah. But like I got too much shit going on in my life to really give a shit about someone else at this point.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
honestly,
As
the
far-
best-
on
the-
that emotional level.
And when you're not looking for it, that's often when you find who you're
that's
looking
exactly
for.
we're on the same page there. The best things in life happen when you least expect them, and
Yeah.
you had a shitty breakup last time, which doesn't help. You're better off anyway.
well, to be fair, after the fact, like it's much more amicable at the.
Of course,
at
and
the
I
second
think
round,
every relationship that ends, you want to get to a point where you're amicable because you care about that person no matter what. If you spent that much time with them, you almost always care about them unless it ends in the most heinous way
Tell that to
possible.
my exes. Both of them hate
Yeah,
me.
but look at you and look at him.
Yeah.
And my current relationship hates me too.
Well,
I don't fault her.
And also, to be fair, like, looking back on it, like a year later, the breakup itself was kind of shitty. But looking at it now, I definitely saw it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, it's hard to acknowledge it when it's happening. though.
Also, I mean, you could definitely attest to this. I'm stubborn as shit, and
No.
I will
What?
not give up
What?
on anything.
What?
Oh.
Whoa. Stubborn?
Don't you have
Yeah.
a soundboard with like a what?
Yeah. Well, what?
What? How annoying would that be?
Oh my god, over and
fucking
over.
what? Sheila from fucking South Park?
Yeah, it's Kyle's mom.
Fucking
Yeah, Kyle's mom's a big fat bitch.
bitch.
So, all right, so everything's going well in your life.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
glad to
see,
hear that.
I got ghosted by 2 chicks, and I was like, over.
Oh,
it.
I heard about this. Is one I heard recently.
We
So-
listened to their album recently.
Oh God, Ghost! Stop! We got to stop ripping on Josh.
No,
I'm not ripping on Josh,
we're
I'm
not
ripping on
ripping on
Ghost.
Josh. We're ripping on Ghost.
Ghost.
First of all, I've hated Ghost since they won. Not like the Grammys mean dick anymore, but
Like,
I've hated Ghost since
I
they won
hate
a Grammy.
ghosts.
I've
Ghosts.
I paid to go since they won a Grammy over August Burns Red like 3 years ago. When
They won a Grammy?
Yeah.
Okay,
For,
the Grammys aren't...
for best metal performance.
I'm declaring right now, on May 25th, 2018 at 8:17 p.m., the Grammys are officially no longer valid now that I have the information that that dog shit glam metal, fruity ass, fuck off band Ghost won a Grammy. And I'm not even a big August Burns Red fan, but they're significantly better than Ghost.
You're about to get even more mad, and it's going to make me a little happy.
Is it Slipknot?
Yes.
They won over Slipknot on the Gray chapter?
Yes. If you guess the song, which I'll give you 2 guesses, and you should get it in 1. Guess the song from the Gray chapter that they got nominated for best metal performance.
Well, it had to be one of the singles, Devil and I, probably.
No, it was not.
Which one was it?
Custer.
They won over Custer?
Are you fucking kidding? Yeah.
Oh! How can a band that fucking sounds the same in every 6 songs win over a band that actually has songs that go from metal to hard rock to metal again, to actually has a good singer, and they don't have to, well, they do dress like fruits, but they at least go with it, and we know what they look like, and said they don't fucking, I can't even come with the words, and I need to get on track here, because we're steering off. What were you going to say, Ralph? Go ahead. Grow up.
What?
Okay. Well, I'm going to go.
Wait, I didn't know I was...
Calm down.
We were talking about...
What are you getting so upset about?
We were talking about hot dogs. That's where I'm going. I saw...
You got off track to get back on the hot dogs?
Well, I want to tell you about an article I saw today from the fake news Washington Post.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard real quick, but I'm the real article.
Oh my God, fucking planes, trains, and automobiles. He's John Candy in that. I remember I told
That's
him,
the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Ralph, the first day he met you, told you look like someone that's going to die in a recliner.
That is very true. He did say that.
Dude, within an hour of knowing you, he tells you that you're going to die alone from some type of sudden obesity.
That actually was the second time I met
far
Taylor.
off.
The first time me and
Hopefully.
Taylor pretended to
bring that up on
No,
here.
no.
That's not our business to speak. So let's go back to hot dogs.
That's all fair.
I saw a Washington Post article that irritated me today. And it was about carrot dogs.
What?
I saw your
People
tweet on this.
are
I'm very intrigued.
grilling hot dogs to a certain way and then putting them on hot dog buns and then serving them with the same accoutrement and pretending it's a hot dog. If I want a salad, I'll eat a fucking salad. I've never had the appeal to want to, that carrot would be good, but it'd be a lot better if I dipped it in ketchup or mustard. Ugh. Fuck, why ruin
I
a
need
good
to look
thing?
at a picture of this because this is...
That literally doesn't
Why
make any
ruin
sense to
a
me.
good thing? Like the spiral cut hot dog. There's no reason. You just enjoy the hot dog the way it is. You fucking put it on the bun, you get some mustard or ketchup, and you fucking eat the son of a bitch.
Wait. There's an actual recipe for this.
Yes, I read the recipe, and all it did with each step was irritate me to no end.
This plant-based take on hot dogs gives carrots a roasted red pepper
I'm gonna
treatment.
unplug your microphone into a roasted... No, it can't be a roasted red pepper, it's a fucking carrot! How can it be a roasted red pepper?
They're making a carrot not taste like a hot dog, but taste like a different vegetable. What's wrong with America?
A lot of things, so that irritated me.
Also, it says that it takes 40 minutes to make these.
What?
I'm not kidding.
See, the great thing about a hot dog is I prefer it grilled, but I could take a fucking hot dog out of the fridge and put it in the microwave for a minute if I want to and eat it. I could put it in a frying pan for a minute and a half. That's the beauty of a hot dog, which is why the spiral cut is bullshit as well, because there's zero reason to fucking make a complicated...
You can serve these carrot dogs nestled in buns with the toppings such
nestle
as
in your fucking buns.
vegetarian chili, cheddar, chopped onions,
Nestle in my
sauerkraut,
ass.
kimchi.
Wait, so they want to make...
Kimchi's good. That's
Kimchi's
actually-
good.
it's
When you're
probiotic.
eating kimchi.
I don't know what
Yeah,
kimchi
by
is,
itself.
and I don't want to. So don't even tell me. I don't
it's
care.
like It's Korean cabbage. You're talking about carrot hot dogs. I could say Korean cabbage, dog.
Okay, you could say
Korean cabbage, Korean
Don't-
cabbage, Korean cabbage.
Don't say kimchi. I don't want kimchi.
Kimchi, Korean cabbage, kimchi,
You're speaking entirely too loud. You're an adult here. Look
I'm
at the
saying-
fucking
what are you
mixer.
Korean kimchi. Ow!
That's what you get.
What are you talking about,
So-
kimchi? Didn't he die in Mortal Kombat?
That was Hung Lee, I think. I know a few Hung Lees. So while we're on the subject of food,
This show is completely off the rails.
while we're on the subject of food, I did see a great article today, and I posted to our Facebook and Twitter pages about the greatest, and I have a story about this involving you, the greatest ice cream dessert, especially in the summer, the Snickers ice cream bar. I love a Snickers ice cream bar. Ralph, how do you feel about a Snickers ice cream bar?
They are A+.
So there was a night where we were at our old place of living. Me, Taylor, and Greg, and Taylor desperately wanted a snack.
This
We
is
had like
my
no
favorite
snacks in the
Taylor
house.
story.
Now let me preface this by saying that Taylor has a peanut allergy, like
I
a
don't-
7-year-old in elementary school.
And those are
and-
usually very mild, right?
No, and here's the thing. And as of last year, getting an allergy test again, it's severe.
so Taylor he desperately wanted a snack, and we had like nothing in the house. We had to go we went grocery shopping like once every 3 months.
We had like fucking kale because I was trying to eat healthy for a week.
Our grocery shopping was ordering from local pizza establishments. So
calling AJ's and getting a vodka chicken parm.
So really, like all the snacks in the house were like stuff that Taylor and I did on supply runs. And this kid with the peanut allergy suddenly comes out of the kitchen with the Snickers ice cream bar box and goes, "I'm so hungry. I gotta have one of these." I'm like, "Taylor, you're allergic to peanuts."
What are you doing?
"I don't care. I think I'll be okay." I had to literally pry it from his hands, like I'm holding down a child to get his fucking tetanus shot.
Did you ever see that Simpsons episode where he drops the hot dog on the floor
Yes.
and Homer eats it, or Apu eats it to commit suicide, and they're going, "No, it's not worth it." That's what I'm picturing.
So, I do agree with what's summer dessert? Like, I think ice cream is like almost everyone's go-to. I'm down to go to DQ. We got
There's only one answer for summer dessert.
what is it? Watermelon?
Watermelon cake.
Oh, I've never had watermelon cake.
Watermelon cake.
The watermelon like sherbet cake.
Oh, that I've had watermelon sherbet. I've never had watermelon cake.
No, you know that thing like you slice it and
No, I clearly don't.
let me get a
Hold on,
picture.
you
I don't
So-
need a picture. You're gonna bring one here.
So you're talking like a factual cake, yeah?
No.
And then like it just
you
fucking
called it a
molded.
watermelon cake. I'm gonna assume it's a cake.
Yes.
So while you're looking it up, and I'm
not
gonna
like
jump
a
to the next
fruit
subject,
cake
and I have a surprise for you, Ralph. We're gonna
Ow.
talk about cakes. So Taylor, I had you pick up something for us, and I've been on 2 videos for this show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I get to.
I think it's your turn. Taylor, can you please break out what I had you buy? Now, Ralph has many talents. One of them is not preparing for a half marathon. The other is giving himself a hernia and waiting for 2
This
years.
is what I'm talking about.
I've never had that, but I want to try it. That's a watermelon
I'll bring
roll.
it. I'll bring it next time.
Okay,
Oh,
bring that.
that looks awesome.
I'll eat that. So
delicious.
let's
hold
stay
on.
on the subject. So
So,
Taylor,
so real quick before we show Ralph, I just want to tell you the lengths I went to find these fucking things, right?
Oh, I'm excited.
So,
Oh.
I live down in Pompton Lakes now. I went to the local Stop and Shop, walked around for about 15-20 minutes, and right before I got out of my truck, I banged the shit out of the car next to me.
your car's
Taylor,
not recognizable.
Taylor, are you aware that you never disappoint?
Yeah. Hold on, wait.
Besides your family.
All right, let's see.
More than once or twice. So I bang the shit out of the car. I walk around Stop and Shop. They don't fucking have it. Like to the point where I asked someone, "Do you have zebra cakes?" They're like, "No, we have Entenmann's." Like that
just
does
gave it
nothing
away.
for me. Yeah.
So what do you have for Ralph?
I have zebra cakes.
Nice.
No, but no, hold on. But here's the next part. Then I drive all the way up here, and because they're redoing the fucking Stop and Shop, looking like an asshole, walking up and down the aisles for about 15, 20 minutes, asking someone
Wait,
else.
do you mean ShopRite or Stop and Shop?
No, because I drove up to
Oh,
West
okay,
Milford.
gotcha. Yeah, it's ShopRite.
For ShopRite, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm saying
that's
I went
a
to
different-
Shop- I
gotcha.
went to Stop and Shop first.
Shop
Oh,
and
okay.
Stop?
Stop and I like Shop and Stop. Go on.
Shop and Stop.
Stop and Shop right.
So again, I asked someone, "Do you have zebra cakes?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'll whatever." And he goes, "What do you need them for?" I'm like, "It's a science project. What's the other question?"
What do you need zebra cakes for? There's only one thing they do.
To make an ass of yourself,
Yeah.
which you're about to do, Ralph.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
I'm kind of mad that I kind of blew it, but it is what it is.
Ralph has a very sophisticated palate and ability to swallow.
My man.
So
Sophisticated palate. That's quite choice of words.
yes. So Ralph, we're gonna record how many. So Ralph can actually take an entire zebra cake and swallow it whole without chewing. So we're gonna see how many zebra cakes Ralph
I'm opening the package now.
can swallow. So I'm gonna stand up here and get this. So let me know.
Am I on a timer?
No, I just want to see how many you can swallow. Ready and go.
Wait,
Just go ahead. Start swallowing zebra cakes, Ralph.
So we got
So
one.
we got one as he chokes.
My coffee.
Ralph dies on the pot. You chewed that one.
You
You're
had to.
ruining it. Swallow it. Come on, be an adult. Come on. Oh my God! Imagine the dick he would take.
I don't think we realize how dangerous this
that's
really is without like milk.
that's one that you swallowed whole. You ate the other. Come on.
He just pulls 3 more out.
Do you need milk?
He's
Yeah.
definitely- yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
Do you-
that's definitely.
I don't have any.
I have the.
I'll get you
the
some
cooler
coffee
beer.
creamer.
You want my coffee?
Swallow it. Swallow it. Come on. One. Oh, you're chewing it. Or are you just sifting it around in your mouth to get it down the guzzle?
He's gumming it down
You're
like
like a duck.
Go ahead.
he's gumming it down like he's gonna baby bird it in your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, here. Okay, we're up to 2. This is 3. So
one
while
hurt.
he's doing this, I'm going to tell you a story about one night when we were doing this. He tried to swallow a 7-Eleven hard-boiled egg,
That was
and he
disgusting.
spit it out. And that Saturday, I went to mow the lawn, and I ran over the egg, and it just went everywhere. So we're up to 3. 3 zebra cakes swallowed whole without chewing, and here is 4. Oh, that one was the cleanest so far.
By the way, you should have heard the sounds he was just making.
Yeah, that's 4. I think I'm going to pull it up near his mouth as I record this. Go ahead.
Get that away.
Come on. We're up to 4.
Come on, it's for the audience, pal.
Yeah, it's for the show. 4.
Fuck outta here with that.
Come on.
Are you okay? Serious?
Oh man, if he died during the filming, we only made it 5 episodes officially, Ralph.
Don't make him laugh.
Come on, 5. Ralph. Come on, get another one. We need 6. We need it even. That's 5. Yo, he's gonna go diabetes. Come on, take a sip of the beer. Get some liquid in there.
Yo, he's shaking so much right now.
Oh my God! All right, we're up to 6. He's going for 6 zebra cakes, swallowed whole. Come on, spit it out. Just spit it out.
Okay, no, he's tapping. It's okay.
Oh, disappointed. So he made it up to 5. I'll give you 5.5 on the one that you chewed the first time. So 5 zebra cakes. Ralph, how do you feel? How are you gonna feel in 20 minutes? All right. I'm sorry about that, Ralph. It was your turn to do something stupid on video.
No, I enjoy zebra cakes.
So
This is gonna be my dinner for tonight.
So now that we've done that stunt,
I got
we're gonna
something.
go into well. Before we do that, I want to go into. We have to actually go with the theme of the show.
What's the show called?
You watch.
I thought it was Listen Watch Show.
I
Dan,
listened to
Ralph.
you. I listened to you watching.
Also, real quick before you say that, when I tried to plug your show before I got rid of my thing, I said it was you talk, I listen.
It's usually me talking and people listening.
Well,
'cause
that's
I'm an ass.
that's what I'm saying.
Dan has an opinion.
I always have an opinion
About everything.
So let's go into our picks for the week of movies and albums. So Ralph, I've been talking about this movie for a couple weeks. I saw it right before I took my vacation to Florida, and I was inebriated, so I especially appreciated it. I'm gonna give you Molly's Game, which I am a huge fan of. I didn't know much about this movie. I knew Jessica Chastain was in it, Idris Elba, and Kevin Costner. So this is the second Kevin Costner movie I'm giving you. So the whole premise of this movie is Jessica Chastain plays a woman who's trained. It's all based on a true story, mind you. She's training to become an Olympic skier. She has a terrible accident, and she has to stop skiing. And she ends up working for a Hollywood executive who they never name specifically. And she starts running his underground poker game, pretty much, with all these
You were telling me about
Hollywood
this.
celebrities, big wigs. I went in this movie with low expectations, and I remember I heard good reviews for it. And I'm not kidding you, if I'd seen it before 2017 ended, it would probably be in my top 5 of movies from last year. Some of the shit that happens in this movie, there's one player specifically. She calls in the book because she can't say his name specifically without it being legal trouble. She calls him Player X, and she says he's a famous actor who is actually, he's a poker player who happens to be famous. He's that good at poker. And he's like a scumbag. He robs people blind playing them. He shit talks them the whole time. He convinces them to go all in when they shouldn't. And apparently it's based on Tobey Maguire.
Nice.
They talk about one thing where this famous New York Yankee that's at the games
I
that
wonder who
everyone
that
wants
is.
to be around. And that was when the story came out that Alex Rodriguez was hanging out in underground gambling games. So Molly's Game, Jessica Chastain is amazing in it. Idris Elba is amazing in it. Kevin Costner was great in it. Taylor, you should watch this as well. I cannot stress enough how fucking bad. It's a lot about poker. It's about organized crime. It's a fucking
It's
awesome.
an interesting premise.
It's all based on a true story, man. If you read up on it, it's fucking wild.
It literally sounds like a better version of like Rounders.
That's kind of what it is. It gets crazier. There's a scene that I rarely get uncomfortable in movies. There was a scene in the movie where I was like, oh, where she gets involved with the Italian mafia. And I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed this movie. At no point did it feel like it was dragging on despite it being long. She was great in it. Idris Elba, like I said, is always great. Kevin Costner as her father, fantastic. The way they tell the story is great. So I really think you're going to like this one. So Molly's Game for you. What album are you giving me, Ralph?
Okay, so this one's actually interesting because I'm surprised, and I understand your reasons with the one I gave you last week, Bravest Man in the Universe. This one I love, but I'm not sure if it's one you're gonna like, so I'm kind of interested to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
Because I could see it being an album that you like or an album you hate. It's called In Ghost Colors by Cut Copy.
Cut Copy. Okay, how would you describe this album to me?
It's a synth pop dance, kind of like indie electrona.
Okay, all right, that's definitely not up my alley, so it'll be interesting to see. Which it is weird because I am such a big Nine Inch Nails fan, and they do go into that realm.
It's kind of like bright Nine Inch Nails. That's actually a good way
Okay.
to put it. So, like, if Trent Reznor's one side of the spectrum, Cut Copy would be on the other side, like a positive Trent
Who else
Reznor.
would you compare it to if you had to give anyone? Have you ever heard them before, Taylor?
Not at all.
Okay, Cut Copy.
They had a few well-known songs. It's not on this album, but off of their next album, Where I'm Going. They used that in a few movies. 50-50, I know, had in the ending credits.
Oh, I like 50-50. 50-50.
Yeah, that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much I like that movie. So actually, I think I may know who they are then.
Yeah.
So this is actually probably something that my girlfriend would like because she likes that kind of sound quite a bit.
It's probably, I guess that's a good way to put it. It's similar to the
Imagine Dragons.
sound system, LCD.
LCD.
Oh, I
was
like-
about to say LCD sound
Yeah,
system.
I like
LCD.
LCD sound system.
Similar.
One song is the only one I know.
Dude, they have some good shit LCD sound system.
So, love this album. Definitely a top 5
when
album
did this
for me.
album come out?
About 10 years ago, I'd say. 2000, let me see. 2007. So
2007. Okay, so 10 years old.
for a while, it was probably Boys and Girls in America, this one, and Arcade Fire's Funeral were in, like, would kind of
They
flip
were in
as
a
my
rotation.
Yeah, my top 3 albums.
Okay, all right. Do
but-
you like it more than the album you gave me last week? Because
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
so. Thank you.
Yeah. That album I really like a lot, but
No, I
that's
get it.
not an all-time favorite for
No,
me. I just think it's an interesting concept. This album I absolutely adore.
Okay, cool. So, I mean,
but
if it's anything like Nine Inch Nails, I'm such a Nine Inch Nails fanboy that
don't
I'm-
expect 9 Inch Nails.
No,
I'm
I mean,
just-
but if it has that kind of, because there's certain songs that don't sound like Nine. His new song, the new Nine Inch Nails song, sounds like fucking Bowie or Radiohead a little bit. It's fucking strange, man.
I'm pretty sure my mouth is bleeding from those zebra cakes. Something's
How
not...
would your mouth be bleeding? They're
I
one of
don't
the
know, but I have
softest,
a-
most delicious treats out
I
there.
taste like copper in my mouth. I think I might be having a stroke.
I hope so.
But if you read
I
the
am-
ingredients, it's definitely a list of stuff that's not natural.
Yeah, that stuff is good. For anyone that hasn't had a zebra cake, I suggest you go out to the store
first-
now and you get some zebra cakes.
So the first 2 ingredients, number 1, sugar. Number 2, corn
No one
syrup.
wants to hear this, to hear ingredients.
Yeah, so it's sugar and then another form of sugar. but they
A
say
bunch
corn
of stuff
syrup.
you don't
I
need.
read ingredients, you listen.
Basically artificial sweeteners.
So
for
this
days.
week, our suggestions were Molly's Game for the movie, Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, and Ralph gave me Cut Copy in Ghost Colors. So if you want to play along, please do. And as our guest, Majka, I asked if you had a movie or an album or both that you would like to suggest to us. I can probably get to both. Ralph can probably only get to the one movie because he's a schmuck. So what do you have for us?
So for a movie, I've been thinking about this for a while, and this is actually a very underrated movie, and it's
Okay.
actually by one of my low-key one of my underrated underrated stand-up comedians of all time, Mike Birbiglia. Mike Birbiglia.
I like Mike, yeah.
It's his movie. Don't Think Twice.
Don't think twice.
It's
Okay.
written, directed, and starring Mike. Keegan-Michael Key's in it. I don't know if you've ever watched.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen stuff for the movie before, and
Yeah.
anything about stand-up I'm interested in.
So essentially, I mean, the basis of the story is it's an improv group that's been trying to get on. It's called Weekend Live, which is basically a parody of Saturday Night Live.
Correct.
I've seen this movie.
Have you?
Yeah, when you're describing, I remember.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give my opinion because I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't wanna be
influence
skewed at
Dan,
all,
but I did
Right.
see this movie.
But it is a fun watch, and it's a little. I compare it to a bougie type of movie, like a 500 Days of Summer type.
And I'm
of
fine
feel.
with that. I like 500 Days of
No,
Summer.
I do too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
it's a-
it's got that indie
That feel to it.
but it's not like a Wes Anderson. Weird.
That was what I watched recently that I didn't think I was gonna like was The Big Sick that I thought was pretty good. That was
that was really good.
I was surprised. There were some things I didn't like, but there were some parts in that made me laugh
That
my
was
ass off.
the Indian guy
Yeah,
from Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley, which I'm not a big fan of. But
I want to say Kumar, but that's the
That's
guy
Harold
with
and Kumar.
That's a different guy.
that's Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, that's the guy from White Castle,
Yeah,
Guantanamo
exactly.
Bay, and then Neil Patrick Harris.
All right, so you gave us. I love those movies.
He
So you gave
described
us.
the movie as White Castle, Guantanamo Bay, Neil Patrick Harris.
It's all one movie and Christmas too. They
Yeah,
did
the Christmas one, low key, is great.
I like that one. So, do you have an album for us as well besides Don't Think Twice?
So at least for an album, I have a couple different ones I was thinking of.
Give me one.
So I have a couple hip hop and metal, but
Just give me one.
I want to give you metal.
Okay.
So for
Nice.
metal, I'm gonna give you. It's a band called Rivers of Nile,
Rivers of Nile.
and the album is called Where Owls Know My Name.
Where Owls Know My Name.
Yes.
Okay.
And I actually, the reason why I like this is, I mean, it's technically considered death metal, but it's not overly dramatic death metal where it's like some Cradle of Filth or
Yeah,
like some
yeah,
Children
correct.
Bodom shit.
This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
it's good, but it's also got really, really interesting and very intricate and very creative breakdowns.
Okay,
So-
that's kind of what I look for.
Oh, so
yeah.
is it more of like a technical black metal?
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
Okay.
And then for Ralph.
Oh, he's got an album for you.
Oh.
Yeah. So hip hop. Anyway.
Nice.
I don't know if you're. I'm sure you are because I have two, and I'm gonna give you a choice because if
No, just you. No, I need you to pick
me.
one. You have to
pick for
pick.
me.
I have to pick
You
one.
have to pick one.
Okay, cool. So actually, I'm gonna give you Rock Kim's the 18th.
Oh, that's a good
Or
one.
the 18th letter. Excuse me.
That's a good one.
That is again the hip hop debate will go on till the end of time. Biggie, Tupac, Biggie, Tupac.
Of course,
Biggie, Tupac.
Rakim is fucking phenomenal.
When in reality, I personally believe that Rakim is the greatest MC to ever live.
And I'm a Nas fan, so
Yeah.
I actually like Rakim more than Nas or
Yeah.
than Biggie and Pac. So I'm with you there.
That's just what I think. I mean,
All right, so dude, you gave us
definitely listen to that.
You gave us some pretty good conversation.
Can't be worse than Ghost.
Oh my God! So Ralph, what did you have for us? Because you said you had a surprise for us too.
I got some for you guys.
He sent me something. Just so everyone knows, he sent me something today. He texted me. He goes, "I sent you something that I need you to download and print that you can't look at first." And I said, "Okay, how am I supposed to fucking print it and not look at it?"
We're doing a play.
Oh God! So okay, so what color am I?
Who am I playing?
Okay, Dan, you are playing the yellow colors.
Okay, so I'm the narrator.
Why is he the narrator? Don't tell me who
I
you
have the
think I
best-
am.
You're Dudley,
Of course.
You look like a Dudley, Taylor.
Fuck you. I'm not that guy. I'm not
and
that
I'm
pussy.
Garba.
All right, so you want me to just start? So what,
Yep.
can you give me a background on this, or we're just doing it?
We are just doing it,
right.
and I'm going to direct you while we're doing it. So if you don't do it right, we are not leaving here till we get it right.
So all right,
What's this first line
just
I have?
just go with it. Just go with it. I'm the narrator.
No, it's fine. You got this.
I'm the narrator here, guys. Ride with me. Dudley sits on the kitchen table draped in black with red wax candles burning. He has opened a book with brown pages and charcoal etchings of strange ruins. A low hum radiates throughout the room. Enter Garba. Scary music plays.
I will add that in post.
Okay. I know this is a play on words. I have a shitty asshole. But come the...
No.
Just read it like it plays.
Read it how it says,
Just
and
read
you
it-
need
just
to chant
try
it.
Yeah,
Chant it.
yeah, come on.
Show
just go with it.
Chant!
I have a shitty asshole.
No! You,
I have
There you
shit-
go.
Like that. Do it like that.
you should have been Dudley.
I
I
apologize.
have a shitty asshole.
Keep going.
I can't even read... I can't even
I have the shitty
Hold on.
ass.
Oh, but conda... What the effing fuck is this? Weepty too good.
All right.
It sounds like a Kanye song.
It does. Garba, go.
Scoopity poop.
What the hell are you doing, Dudley? The candles, the book. I can't do that voice. I'm just going to blow it out.
That's Justin again.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Justin's Garba.
Do we have to start this again?
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
I think we need to start
No,
from the
we're
just
beginning.
go with it. God damn it,
You have
Garba.
to start. You have to start, Dudley. Chant again. You never even chanted
Not fucking
correctly.
doing that.
Just
Go.
chant. Go. You're ruining your whole bit, Ralph.
What? I told you, we're not leaving till we get it right.
What the hell are you doing?
What the hell are you doing, Dudley? The candles, the book, the Latin.
Now you go.
God fucking damn it, Garba. I was this fucking close to finishing. Oh, I see what I was doing.
Go ahead.
You're dabbling with black magic with a K. You don't know what you're doing.
You're either with me or against me.
No, I need agitated.
He sounds agitated. You're ruining your own bit.
I
You're-
literally-
I have a
You're like
vision.
Michael Bay ruining a movie
I have a vision.
that he already ruined by
Okay,
directing it.
Go.
You're either with me or against me. And you are acting like you're against me.
What's the end game? What are you trying to do?
Dudley aggressively opens the book and points to a picture of a lion with like 2,000 fucking legs.
Do you see that?
What is that?
This is beer. This isn't going well. He teaches...
I'm gonna cut this soon.
He teaches natural and moral philosophy, logic, and the virtues of all herbs and plants, and also is capable of healing all I don't know, especially of men, and bestows good familiar. Fuck you! What?
Did you write this whole thing?
Yeah.
You're a terrible writer. You wrote aggressively, not even aggressively.
No.
I'm giving this 3 more lines before I cut
No,
it.
we need to finish.
You have to narrate my next line. Size. No, really, Taylor. Sigh like you mean it. Don't say this, idiot.
You wrote it. All right, so I need to cut.
No, we're not done.
Dude, this is so long.
It's literally a full
Dude, it's
page.
so long.
It's
And
a
we got
full
it.
page.
We got it. No, we're not doing this.
Bjorn didn't even show up.
We're getting to the. Okay, we're jumping to the last.
No, we're
You
not.
fucked up the colors at the end too. Like, so the colors are. My color's yellow. Taylor's is red.
No. Bjorn, you're Bjorn too.
I can't be. Then let's get to where Buer comes in.
No.
Narrator.
No, we're missing
No.
one detail.
There's no plot. Clouds form.
Dudley, no, shut up. You're ruining it.
Dude, it was ruined the second you wrote it.
We don't know why Bjorn's here. We didn't get to that.
This is like Bobo wrote this. Dude, this sucks.
We got the middle out.
This is the room. This is the room of terrible fake podcast scripts.
No. Go, Dudley, go.
I'm gonna do. You do the narrator. I'm gonna be done.
No, I wrote the part for Taylor.
Going through it, and neither are you, dude. I'm giving you 3 more seconds to get this on track, and then I'm making an executive decision.
Taylor. No, Taylor, sigh like you mean it. Don't say this, you idiot.
That's my favorite part. You said don't read it, and I read it.
Remember Sasha? Well, wait, no, I'm reading your part. It's you. You're Dudley.
I think you're drunk on zebra cakes.
I didn't write this now.
You didn't write it well at all. You shouldn't write a eulogy.
Yo, he didn't fucking proofread his own script.
He wrote aggressively for aggressively.
I'm getting really aggressive right now.
Dude, I'm skipping to the end.
No,
Yes. Dude, we're literally at an hour and 20 and we've got nothing done.
Because you're not. Because it's all wrong.
Yes, it's all wrong.
No, no.
I love how he caught it.
I throw the script and he caught it.
Okay, go. Pick up where you left off. We're gonna get through this.
Start it. Did you see that? Or do you see that, Micah?
No.
Start it. Do you see
We
that?
don't know why we're summoning pure.
Ralph, I'm gonna be serious with you for a second. I literally can't do this.
He's gonna laugh too hard. That's why let me be Dudley.
Okay, fine. You're Dudley.
Okay, I'm gonna start. That is Björ. He teaches natural and moral philosophy, logic, and writes the virtues of all herbs and plants, and is also capable of healing all infirmities, especially of men, and bestows good familiars.
Cool, dude. I don't fucking play Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Why are you doing this?
Remember Sasha? Well, she left me for temper.
Ugh! I hate temper. I'm sorry, dude. Sasha was a sleek bird.
We all hate temper! Anyway, I'm going to ask Björ to get her back.
Garber pauses for a moment and does his best James Dean, like the Jack and Diane song by John Mellencamp. You know.
Dan. So are you going to help?
All right, dude. I'll help.
I
Shitty asshole because I don't wipe too good.
Okay, do the molester's voice now, Micah.
Wait, that's a thing? Morgan Freeman really molested people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nothing happened to the boys.
That's why you're the narrator.
And Björn did not appear.
happened to the boys. Björn did not appear.
Struck out again, huh, Dud?
But then the spirits
I'm the
appeared.
narrator, asshole.
I know.
But then the spirits appeared. The ground shook. The sky thundered. The book pages began to flip. Something outside the boys' control appeared. This should be Morgan Freeman, too, if you did not read this.
No.
You gotta read it.
It worked.
Clouds formed. Björ appeared. A lion head with tons and tons of legs appeared. Seriously, some kook fucking shit.
That's supposed to be cool.
I am Björn. I teach natural and moral philosophy. Spelled wrong. I have skipped through time. What is your wish? I would like to command you to reunite me with my.
I want to sign Louis Soho jersey.
What?
Your wish is my. Wait, that's on me.
Your wish is my command.
Yo, this is so cool.
No! You, Dudley, you are cursed with a 10,000 years of suffering for your wish.
And fade out.
This was the worst thing ever.
I thought it was good.
Sorry,
Alright.
I just want to say in your last line you went off script and I wasn't happy about it.
I don't know what that was. I think from now on we should just read, have people that come in just read actual movie scripts.
No!
That was...
I want to be an actor.
So that was
you
really
want to be
dumb.
an actor or
I want to be a director.
a screenwriter?
So that was really dumb, but quick update. Ahmed Razar just hit a home run, kind of 1-1.
Nice.
Nice.
Good deal. All right, so... I
guys didn't
had a
like
couple
it?
things. Listen to this story that I
loved
just
it.
read
I
yesterday.
fucking cried. I was laughing
That was
so hard.
funny. I don't know if other people appreciate it, but I'm in tears from laughing.
That's
Now
fucking
here's a
great.
story that made me laugh really hard yesterday. A crematorium in San Diego.
Is that when they make ice cream or burn people? I always confuse them.
That's a creamery.
Cold Stone Creamery or Cold
Cold
Stone
Stone
Creamery.
crematorium.
Would you like Jolly Ranchers in your ashes?
Your bodies are cold. Let's burn them. All right. So this crematorium in San Diego. I guess the oven door wasn't shut, and it sent out into San Diego a cloud of human remains.
Oh, I heard about that.
That's how I want to go.
Like, imagine what the weather report said: cloudy with the chance of grandma.
A little kid. A little kid goes, "Oh look, it's snowing!" and sticks her tongue out.
Oh my god! It's like, oh my god, that's your Uncle Jack's femur. Like, dude, how bad do you have to fuck up to not close
You
the
had
door?
one job, Karen.
That was the last of the cocaine, Karen.
He did that to the Taco Bell drive-thru lady who was named Karen at like 2 in the morning.
And I'm like, Karen, that was all we had.
Dude, she's dying. She gave us a lot of sauce that was already free.
Wait, one of the best parts, I took some notes for this. I was so interested in the Snickers ice cream bar, I wrote it twice in 2 different spots.
That's how you know it's good.
So the crematorium is fantastic. The other thing was, did you hear about this movie at Cannes Film Festival? That apparently Kane, whatever. I pronounce it how it's spelled.
Citizen
Michael
Khan.
Caine.
So
wait, Michael Kahn.
Apparently there was this movie.
James Caine.
There was this movie shown that apparently like 100 critics and people walked out of because it was so disturbing to them. And it's from Lars von Trier, who is a very controversial director. He directed what's called the Depression trilogy, Antichrist, Melancholy, and Nymphomaniac. And it's supposed to
I saw Melancholy.
Melancholy with the planet that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
Kirsten Dunst.
yeah.
That's a great movie.
It's a weird movie. I liked it,
It's
though.
great. So he's doing this one called The House That Jack Built, starring Matt Dillon, who I actually like quite a bit. Not One Headlight Matt Dillon, but the actor Matt Dillon.
That's
and
not
apparently,
Matt Dillon.
What's his son's
That's
name?
Jacob Dillon.
Tomato. Dillon.
Tomato.
They're not even spelled the
It's not
same
the
way.
piece of shit from fucking Entourage, is it?
No, it's the one from There's Something About Mary, Pat Healy.
Oh, the one that actually has
The
talent.
funny one, yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie, apparently, he plays a serial killer, and I guess there's a scene where he snipes 2 children at a park, and they show it.
Oh.
It's apparently this director. He's known for making like almost exploitive, very violent, graphic movies.
Yeah,
Nymphomaniac is all about being a nymphomaniac.
Yeah, but like to do what?
I mean, his whole movies. He's a manic depressive. He's a recluse, and I mean, people that.
Is he schizo too?
He might be a little bit. He's
Yeah.
said some things that have got him in trouble, but I like movies that kind of push my buttons and my boundaries. That one kind of pushes it, but I do like his other films, so I want to see him. Like Melancholia and Antichrist are fantastic. They're very fucked up, though, and Nymphomaniac is very, very fucked up. This one, because I like Matt Dillon as well, the idea of a serial killer and actually showing that this guy is killing children and people at parks, it's pushing it. It's pushing it, but I like when that's what art's about. It's about pushing it.
Well, it's actually funny you say that because, like, especially with the newest iteration of It.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
correct.
Like the opening scene. Obviously, in the TV for movie, you don't see Georgie.
Of course,
get
you just
pulled
see
down
him open the mouth. Yeah,
right. Whereas this one, he gets his arm ripped off and gets dragged, which is, by the way, the creepiest part of the entire fucking movie.
yeah.
But that made me super uncomfortable. You
Well,
know what I
imagine
mean?
actually seeing children get shot in the head.
That's what I'm saying. Dude.
That's what's
Like,
fucked up.
Do they
But,
show it like through the scope?
apparently,
or-
it's very, very graphic.
Ooh.
I would think he's like looking through the
I'm
scope.
like,
Yeah,
the
that's
fa-
it.
if people didn't walk out of it, I wouldn't be as interested. But the fact that it bothered people that much has me excited.
You know what?
But I'm over people like being offended by movies and TV shows. People are mad at 13 Reasons Why right now, which I'm not into. It's not my
What
kind
What are
of
they
show.
mad about again?
I guess there's a scene last season. Obviously, it's about suicidal. A girl committed suicide, and there's a rape scene. In this one, I guess a kid gets sexually assaulted with a broom in like a closet, and the Parents Television Council is asking Netflix to boycott. Okay, what happened to parents just not letting their kids watch shit that they shouldn't be watching?
Do they not know that there's parental
There's
controls
parental
on fucking
controls.
Netflix? On every
these
streaming app?
parents are so busy telling other people how to raise their kids that they're not raising their own.
This reminds me of Lovejoy's wife from The Simpsons. Won't anyone think of the children?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. But like complaining about like, okay, it's not on regular television. It's Netflix. You have full control over what your child's watching.
Exactly.
And there's a million other things that are worse out there. Unfortunately, that subject is something that is real and happens, and it has happened locally with people getting fucking sodomized with things like that. And they're saying like it's gonna make kids want to do that.
They're not saying, "Oh, look how great it is!"
I've
Like,
never-
"Wow, we're having a good time."
Yeah, no, they're making light of the fact that this is fucked up. Obviously, it's not new news that's
Yeah,
fucked up.
correct.
So what's the big fucking deal?
I've-
You know it's bad.
I've
It's
never
portrayed
once
as shit.
watched a movie or a show or listen to music and then suddenly decided I wanted to kill, rape, maim, beat. That's the thing. They blame these movies and these video games and these TV shows after this television after these terrible things happen. All these terrible events, these shootings that happen, and these sexual assaults that happen. But how come in the same vein, if a kid that does something terrible, I'm not going to go with a basic example, but a kid that does something very bad, how come when they go to all his favorite music and his video games, how come in the same school they don't honor the valedictorian for being a fan of like Call of Duty? But they'll blame him if he does something terrible. Artists never get the credit when a kid does really well. It's a big fan, but they get all the blame when something bad happens, and
what
that's
if a
garbage.
kid listens to like some like Like, what happens if he's like a huge Carpenters fan or something? Like, no one ever gets angry. It's only when it fits the narrative.
Exactly, but
why? It's not like someone sitting there loving the Pretenders say they're literally going to walk 500 miles and do 500 minutes. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
This song offends me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to walk 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. Eat shit.
Could this music and imagery influence somewhat? Sure, but most likely they were going to do it without that. But there's
a deeper underlying issue.
When they get mad at comedians for saying offensive things, the kid that's a valedictorian doesn't get the comedian doesn't get credit who's a fan of Jim Norton or Tom Segura or any of those guys.
I'm so happy you just said Tom.
That's what I mean. They get all this
Tom
shit.
Segura's he's in hot water too.
Of course he always is.
Actually, he was not anymore, and I was pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Happened.
And if you hear the joke is making fun of the controversy. It was art, like real life imitating art. Like, he made a joke about the controversy of the word. He makes a joke which has the word retarded in it.
Yes.
And it's him saying how, like, the times have changed and the word retarded is not socially acceptable to use anymore. And people got angry that he had a joke about the word retarded, proving what the joke was making fun of to begin with.
Proving that there's no context when it comes to things anymore. And that's the problem. Words themselves should have no weight unless it is directed a certain way, which once again leads it to context. And I don't want to get into a horribly PC political conversation because there's that whole Kendrick Lamar thing that just happened, which infuriated me.
I'm actually with you on that. And listen, and I love Kendrick.
I love Kendrick too. His music's great.
I think he definitely set her up.
I think if he didn't set her up, he was pretty fucking stupid.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to give my opinion on that because this is not the time or the place for that. But there has to be context and meaning, and that's the problem. Comedians they never get the credit when the kid who's a valedictorian is a huge fan of them, but they get all the blame when the kid tells their mother that he's a cunt, and that's stupid.
Well, and just like real quick, just to add on to what you're saying, that's not a new narrative. That's been happening the entire time.
Of course, it's been happening for generations.
Bro, everyone hated fucking Zeppelin. Everyone hated Manson.
They hated George Carlin. They hated Richard Pryor. Going back to the original, whose name I'm forgetting now, the fucking comedian that caused all
Lenny
Bruce.
Everyone hated Johnny Cash. Everyone hated Bill Hicks.
Exactly. We had that conversation the other day.
Charles Manson got a lot of hate.
Well, did I say Charles Manson or Marilyn Manson?
No, he said he was being an ass, and you just trampled over him. So thank you for trampling over him.
I am
appreciate
twice the size of him.
That's true. Twice. You're giving yourself a little too much credit there.
Do me a favor.
Yeah, I guess it's a radio. People don't need to realize that you're an ox.
Well, you superimposed me on the fucking moon.
Earth. You were the Earth.
Oh, you superimposed me on the Earth and said the Earth is not flat.
Why were we on the moon? We were on the moon without astronaut things, and I also made you
astronaut. Well said. We were on the moon without astronaut things.
Wow, I'm a blithering idiot. So we're literally, it's gonna be our longest episode to date. So this is a new thing I want to bring on for guests, and because we are a movie and music themed things, I think every guest we should ask them in some type of way what their favorite movie or album is. So I'm gonna ask you, Taylor, as we have very similar movie takes, some differences here and there. What is your favorite movie to just put on when you need something that you enjoy that much that you don't need to pay full-on attention to it, but you always want to watch it when it's on? What's your number one movie in that regard?
So, in reality, there's two, but if I had to pick one of the two, it would definitely have to be The Departed.
Okay, I love The Departed. I'm a huge fan. I do, for me, I always tell you with Scorsese, it goes down a little bit because I know Infernal Affairs very well, but I do love The Departed. I'll watch it anytime it's on.
Well, as I say, it's funny you say that because you're the one who told me that it was based off Infernal Affairs.
Correct.
And I went and watched that,
and then,
and I'm like,
so imagine if you saw Infernal Affairs first, how it would twist your opinion on the shock value of the movie.
Well, just because the whole thing too, because like, dude, Leo was incredible. Mark
Jack's
Wahlberg
incredible.
is
Everyone's
incredible.
great. Everyone's great in it.
Mark Wahlberg,
Alec Baldwin,
Emilio Estevez's dad,
Martin Sheen,
Alec Baldwin, Matt Damon.
He said Emilio Estevez's dad, not Charlie Sheen's. That's the best part.
Yeah, you know, you have no room to speak. You said space things.
Astronaut stuff.
Astronaut stuff, that was it.
Yeah, because Emilio Estevez is Gordon Bombay.
That's all he is. That's all he is Gordon Bombay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So The Departed, your one. What's the other?
Oh God, Usual Suspects.
I was gonna say
that's my all-time favorite.
I love that one. I thought you were gonna go with another one, and I have to mention this because it just passed on the 22-year anniversary of it. Twister came out 22 years ago.
Of God.
Is there an F5? It's a finger of God. I just watched the original.
The silverware everywhere.
I could watch that movie anytime, Twister. I've probably seen that. That's in my top like 5 movies I've seen the most in my life.
So I think this is also a quick Twister story. We were actually at a.
What's the fact that you have a quick Twister
I have
story?
a few Twister stories.
Yes, this is very true. But we were actually at a Christmas sweater party, and we're the only ones that showed up in Christmas sweaters.
Yeah.
So That was fucking. And then, dude, on like this little 32-inch TV in this massive.
They're like,
fucking
put
room,
something on.
like,
Put a Christmas
something
movie on.
For whatever reason, I had my truck and I had fucking Twister on deck on Blu-ray on my fucking in my fucking truck. So I went out and got it. Threw it on. Everyone's having a great. Everyone's playing beer pong.
And then
there's me and Dan drunk as shit watching the fucking thing, and it's
It's
just
the
like,
wonder in nature, baby. And dude, I just
hey, you guys!
dude, Philip Seymour Hoffman, dude. When I saw the thing, it was the 22 anniversary of it, and they had the original trailer. I was like, "This is the greatest trailer I've ever seen." And then they had the commercial for the soundtrack with Van Halen, but the third singer for Van Halen,
Chiron.
that song "Shine On."
Yeah, that song sucks.
Dude, the movie's so great. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton.
He taught me how to curse. Legit.
Dude, legitimately, I remember me and my buddy Brian Solasik, when we were like in second, third grade, I had it on VHS, and we would rewind it on the scene in the first 10 minutes where he goes, "Oh, come on, Dusty, don't start that shit." And we would just laugh our asses off at the word shit because we were chill. I'll still laugh at the word shit. Shit, duty, caca.
He looks in the mirror and he laughs because it reminds him of shit.
You know, my favorite part of that whole movie. Jonas, son of a bitch.
Jonas he got himself a government contract.
Yeah, because they were the bad
Yeah.
storm chasers.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so good. That was Cary Elwes that played him. Helen Hunt, Cary Elwes, Bill Paxton, Philip Seymour Hoffman. The best friend from Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of them. There's a whole bunch of people in that movie.
I know, real quick, no one's going to know, but remember that picture I sent you with Josh at Mike White's boat that was exactly like Jonas?
He looked like Jonas from Twister because he had a stupid hat on.
He had the same fucking gray hat.
Wow, this is like we could just have a podcast called "You Listen to Me Rip on Josh." That's this whole episode.
You are abusive to Grohow.
Well, Grohow we just naturally abuse, but so let's get back on track. What's the one your go-to album? I may not listen to
the
it.
Twister album.
What's your go-to
The Twister
album?
soundtrack.
So, in all honesty, like my go-to album, it's tattooed on my back. It's a band that's
Everlong.
No,
Oh.
on my back, not on my ankle.
You have a
Spice
That's-
World?
tattoo.
No, imagine that'd be awful.
Imagine John Lennon. That's
No.
your tattoo.
You shut the fuck up. And let me talk.
What are your thoughts on Yoko Ono?
Limp Bizkit. Into
500 words, please. Go.
500 words.
I want to sing like Yoko Ono. When she just goes in front of a crowd. She goes. Ah.
Well, listen.
Let's hear the album. Let's hear what it is. We're running so long here.
It's a band that's, like I said, that's no longer around. They actually just did their first show in about 7 years at the in New York City and in Philly. And I
Hanson.
went to both shows. No, that'd be great though.
They're still together.
I would go see Hanson. Fuck
Go
it.
on.
But
Can we all
it's,
sing Bop at the
it's-
end of the
shut
show?
the fuck up, Ralph.
You're a terrible co-host.
It's a band called Valencia. They're from
I know
Philadelphia.
Valencia.
They're from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Not Philadelphia, North Carolina.
Okay.
Go on.
And their album is
He's getting very aggressive.
is their second fuck you. Is their second album called We All Need a Reason to Believe.
Okay.
And like when that came out in like 2007, that was my favorite album then. It's my favorite album now. There's not. I know every single song, every single lyric to every single Valencia song as it is. And
I do like Valencia. The stuff I've heard. You've played them for me a lot, so I'm
Yeah,
a
and
fan.
here's the
And I got
thing-
you into Thrice.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
So wet all day.
They're so
but
good.
here's the fucked up part. So that album was the first time they signed to a major label. Because the first time they were on an indie label in Philly, they signed to Atlantic Records for one deal, and the album didn't sell as well as it was, but it was one of the best albums they ever put
All right,
out.
so those are your
And Atlantic dropped
that's
them.
your go-to movie: The Departed, Usual Suspects, Twister, and Valencia. We all need a reason to believe. So I think we've been going like progressively longer on each episode, which I'm okay with. I'm fine with that.
Well, the thing is, we have a lot of
This
like,
goddamn mosquito.
we could
it's-
literally keep going about the Best Buy stores. Like when you pulled a knife on me.
I literally pulled a knife on you in front of customers before. Put it
Yeah.
right
By
to
the
his
way,
back.
every guest we've had has been a Best Buy person.
Oh, hold on.
It has all been Best Buy people so far. Josh is technically a Best Buy person, but we knew him before Best Buy.
Yes, very true. So I just want to tell like just two quick stories.
Go ahead.
Because
We got time.
Because you mentioned it to Grahowski how he used to clean up shit all the time.
Dude,
and
yeah.
then, all the like harassment was mostly like physical harassment was mostly focused on me. So the three big ones about Dan.
I don't know
one
what
time
he's talking about.
I'm ringing because there was a couple.
I'll
different
sue him
ones.
for slander.
So I'm ringing up he pulled a knife on me.
Just casually.
Wait,
what?
So I'm ringing up a customer back
With like a
in
60-inch TV.
Yeah, like a 60-inch TV, like it's like a $1,300 sale, and he walks up behind me and he's got a Batman Bowie knife.
Isn't the one that you
Yeah,
had?
the Batman
No,
knife I
so
have.
So he just walks up behind
That's
me.
a legit knife.
Yeah, it was. He walks up behind me, puts the knife to my back, and just whispers in my ear and goes, "Act natural."
I literally have it poking into his back.
Yeah, and he's just standing there, and he's got the knife in my back, and he's talking to the guy. He's like, "So, did Taylor help you out with everything?" Because he's really not.
I'm
that
trying to
good.
sell him a protection plan.
Yeah,
I'm
And
like,
you have no idea what it was even.
I didn't
Covered.
know anything about home theater, but I could sell it if I needed to.
Yeah, so that was one. Two was
You
when
are
he,
a terrible person.
I was a great employee, though.
How do you have any friends?
actually, to be fair, he was like the best employee in his department. I don't know how.
Go on.
So the second one was when he got everyone in the entire fucking store to play this game called Taylor. So essentially, what it was.
Let me explain, because I think
Okay.
for coming from the person that developed it. So
Yeah, you're a piece
it
of
was
shit.
it was basically, you know how like, oh, someone's got to go grab the pizza and it's nose goes. Last person to put their finger on their nose goes. So I said we're gonna play Taylor, and it went nose goes, and the last person to put their finger on their nose had to hit Taylor in the sack, no matter what he was doing. So literally, it developed into like.
Ralph, it happened a lot.
Dude, like he was just getting. The one time we were up at the front register, he was talking to the cashier. I was talking to him. We were both on the clock, and he's standing with like his back up against the desk, and I just straight up Muay Thai leg kick him right in the cock.
You're garbage.
And wait, he drops, and his pants
And my
fall
pants
down,
fall
and his
down.
bare ass is out in front of customers.
Yeah.
So then there was
Josh.
this kid. Josh got him really good.
Yo, hold on. So real quick. So
You say real quick a lot. It's never real quick.
No, never.
But go on.
I can't run real quick either, which is funny.
No,
so
we're having a
no, but
heart
the other
attack.
thing. So we had this one kid. We called him Baby Chris, and then when he turned 18, he was Man Chris.
Because he looked like he was 12.
Yeah, pretty much. So Chris got swindled into doing this because he said Taylor, and he was the last one.
Oh, and
blah,
it was
blah,
so
blah.
easy to convince him to do other stuff.
So literally, so Chris walks
Butt
up.
stuff.
So he walks up to me and he goes, "I'm sorry, man," and
Got a
just
big cock,
tapped
Taylor.
me.
Ooh.
Right? And I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!"
like
I was
big
so
cock?
pissed. And that one sucked. But then when Josh did it, Josh was the worst because
You like-
Josh
you like
rolled
big
like
cock?
he lost, so he rolls up. And he goes to give me a high five and like pull it in for a bro hug. And as he pulls it in, he lifts his knee up and just knees me right in the fucking dick.
Off the ground. Yo, he threw a printer at Josh. He grabbed the printer.
Like a full
The
big
box,
ass,
like
a full
HP,
big ass-
like
yeah,
your
an
first year
Epson
back
printer.
to school printer. like
Like
yo,
a full Epson printer, like easily a $300
so
printer.
once I
and
heard about
fucking
that, I
tossed
was
it at
like,
him.
we got to stop this. So I changed nose goes, and it became nose goes, and the last person has to post something very disgusting on his Facebook wall, like porn.
Oh.
And there were some like really gnarly ones.
And then
but
Colucci hit it
fucking
with a kill
Colucci
screen.
ended it. He posted this dude, this big like jack dude sitting poolside naked, and he's got his cock out, and there's like a wolf that has the cock. in it.
wrong with you guys?
Colucci ended it, and your Facebook doesn't exist anymore. But he eventually had to turn his Facebook off because of me, because everyone started, even after I left Best Buy,
Everyone started fucking wishing me happy
after
birthday
I
and
left Best
shit.
Buy, my legacy carried on because I was just writing happy birthday on his Facebook every day, and then the kid with Asperger's that worked there started writing it on his wall.
You have the you.
Well,
Your
listen,
HR department must be the worst HR
It's
department.
amazing. I never got in any HR trouble
I'm shocked.
ever.
I never.
All I hear about this place is just abuse.
Well, we were all friends, man. We weren't going to rat on each
yeah,
other.
no, we were all like really good
We
friends.
knew the
That was
people we
cool
couldn't
part.
fuck with, like,
Yeah.
and when we realized it went too far, like the kneeing in the dick, he took it long enough. When we mailbox Justin and he screamed.
Oh, he was. Well, so real quick, they were.
Oh my god, with the real quick.
So he knocks him over and like Justin slams on the fucking bottom thing and literally just screams in front of customers.
Oh,
Ow,
fuck!"
Fucking hurt! Ow!
and he storms in the back.
And Bob's following him. Me and Dan are following him. And he just
2 minutes later, he's like,
he sits
"It's
down.
okay."
He's like, yeah, that's all right. Overreacted.
And then I taped him to the chair.
Yeah.
All right, so we really do have to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
wait,
Taylor, wait, go on. What were we going to say?
we do need to do our quick hot takes.
Oh,
But let's
we-
keep
oh,
really
wait.
quick hot takes.
Real quick hot take. I have one. I am very angry that John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens keep pushing the kickoff, if it goes through the uprights, should be worth 1 point. I think that is the fucking dumbest idea ever.
Isn't that what they do in the CFL?
Yes.
But you can't. I don't like the idea of being able to score without actually defending. So you have the one kicker in the league that can do it every single time, Justin Tucker, and maybe any kicker in Denver. But that to me is the dumbest idea ever. There should not be any way to score without a defense happening. So that to me, stop pushing it. We get it. I actually kind of like the new kickoff rules. I think it's going to make it for more exciting.
Yeah,
Dude, there's going to be so many more returns, and it's going to create so many more weapons. You have a lot more. You won't be as apprehensive about putting your best wide receiver on a return now,
Right.
Because the odds of him taking a fucking big cut block or a wedge block are slim to none.
Right.
So that's my hot take. Ralph, what do you got?
Not really a hot take, but a shout out. Actually, me trying to be serious for the first time in my life.
Sure, go for it.
My mother went back to college
Woo!
10 years ago.
Yeah, Maria.
Didn't get a
Congratulations,
chance to
Maria.
do it when she was younger, and at
That's admirable, man. That's
and
fucking fantastic.
after 10 years, she has her degree, so I am proud of her. And she only made one mistake in her life, and that was having me.
That's a big fucking mistake. But seriously, Maria, Mrs. Valleca, whatever is the proper way to
Mrs. Maria.
Mrs. Maria.
Mrs. Maria.
Mr. Maria.
Congratulations. That is seriously awesome. It's actually very admirable, admirable, I guess is the right way to say it.
Yeah, admirable.
As to people like Taylor, well, Taylor graduated college and didn't know it, but people like like myself
true.
that may decide
Real
to go
quick,
back at some
real
point.
quick, tell the story.
Do me a favor. Eat shit.
Here's the quick story. Taylor went to sign up for classes again at his college. He went there to find out that he actually had graduated 2 years prior, and his diploma was there. A year prior, his diploma was there waiting for him. But seriously, Mrs. Valleca, that is awesome, and you have a lot to be proud of, and that is one of them. Ralph is not the other. Your other daughter, sure. Taylor, what's your hot take?
So again, not necessarily a hot take. I'm just very excited because tonight is the premiere of Mauro Ranello's.
The Mauro Ranello. Do you know Mauro Ranello?
Bipolar Rock and Roller is premiering tonight on
So
Showtime.
he's a MMA announcer, boxing announcer. You watched the Mayweather McGregor fight. He's got the very deep voice.
Yeah, I'm sure I
He's
would
very
recognize
animated.
his
He was just on Jim and Sam this week, actually. Mauro. He was just on with them.
I actually haven't listened this
now
week.
he's
I
also a
should.
WWE employee, and he has severe bipolar disorder, and he had to leave the WWE for a while. And they made a documentary about him, and his whole point is he wants to defeat the stigma around mental illness, and the fact that he's lived this long with it. He's got the best voice in combat sports, maybe in all sports.
I would say he's definitely up there. Yeah,
he's incredible, and his the struggles he's had. I'm excited to see this documentary tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Mauro is one of the most genuine dudes in anywhere. He's just, everyone loves Mauro. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Mauro.
No, he's excellent. And I
He
will
won't
say
even-
too, he responded to me on Twitter, which was
Yeah,
pretty
I like
sweet.
that. That was cool, man. And so Bipolar Rock and Roller debuts tonight. So
What's it on?
Showtime.
It's going to be on
Showtime?
Showtime, so it's
Okay.
definitely going to be cool.
He was great with Jim and Sam the other day, so you should pull that interview up and listen to it.
And then if I really had to do a hot take, honestly, and it's my opinion, Pearl Jam sucks.
Oh,
I'm right with you, 100%.
I'm gonna fuck both of you
Pearl
in the
Jam's
heinies after
overrated.
this. I'm gonna fucking
They're
stick my fingers in your heinies.
Overrated pieces of shit.
I'm not that aggressively anti-Pearl Jam, but I'm not a fan.
Then you know what I'm gonna say? I'd rather listen to Pearl Jam on a loop, one song, than listen to one single AC/DC album. And that's where we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
right.
listening to You Watch I Listen, episode 5. Please download and listen to Taylor Majka's podcast, In the Pit with Taylor Majka, on SoundCloud, YouTube. Hopefully soon on iTunes if I can help him figure out how not to be a dummy. Ralph, you got anything else?
No.
All right, that's me, Taylor. Thank you for sitting in with us. Next week we have Tom. Oh my God, Ken joining us.
My good friend Ken,
Ken Tom.
who did not work at Best Buy.
He did not work at Best Buy. So, guys, thanks for listening. Our longest episode to date. Thank you for the response. Like, listen, subscribe, share.
See you next week.
Peace.
Later.